look like I should be like in a girl band.
Yeah, you
I'm
do,
like
don't
the
you? With
token
a
black
little,
girl.
yeah, with a little scarf on your head and that.
Yeah, it's giving this Charles I Need a Soldier kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for me. Morning, people. It is Thursday, the 7th of November. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. I am currently the only one in right now. So, yes, as always, your favorite shade queen, my own royalty. And Brent is here.
Do 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 do. Good morning. Good morning. How are you this fine Thursday morning?
This fine Thursday morning, I am feeling good. I am feeling blessed. I am feeling grateful.
Does this day specifically feel full of promise and hope and optimism?
It does. My spirit's been telling me something about Thursday for the past week now.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see what God is going to store.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel really good today, but my spirit's been telling me something about Thursday, so I don't know what's happening on Thursday.
All right.
Find out.
That's
I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Maybe
good.
nobody. I don't know.
That is good. That is good. All right. Good. I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you very much. Last night, somebody had asked me to send them some of my music because they had found out like that I made music in it.
Is it a girl?
Yeah, a woman, I guess. I don't know what that means though.
I know what it means.
I think anybody would have asked me to hear some of my stuff if it is I've said.
What?
Yeah, actually, you show no interest in my life, innit?
First of all,
I just don't know why whatever.
I don't know why you read that verse, but it's alright anyway. Because I would have said the exact same thing. You're equally young friends.
Oh
mate.
my god! And obviously, last time I even sat behind my computer to make music was I don't know what 7, 8 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, before all this whole podcasting thing kind of kicked off in it, and then it became.
It kicked off good for you, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just deep in it.
Yeah, 100%. But
It kicked off and you went straight to Spotify. That's crazy.
No, but that's what happens when it is God has put a blessing in your life.
Amen. Because
I can't fight that.
Because that's so historical. You actually produced the first ever UK podcast which signed to Spotify.
Yeah.
And then the second.
Yeah.
Lit.
Esther's mic is off. Oh, sorry.
Oh
gosh.
Well, what a shame.
What about me silencing women?
Can you imagine? It's not you, man. It's the devil. He's been playing games with me. The devil been trying.
That should be fine now.
Imagine, this is what the devil does. They've been praising God as well, you know. Giving God all the glory. Can you imagine? When I'm yapping about celebrities and whatnot, the mic is loud. You want to praise Jesus now, the mic is off.
God damn it.
Anyway, God is good.
Yeah. So, I can't fight blessings that God has put in my life, innit?
Amen.
Yeah, so whilst trolling through the archives, I even had to find or remember where these folders were in it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously back in the day, it's crazy how I'm now saying this first love of mine has now been relegated to back in the day. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks.
Crazy, no?
But I found it, and obviously the myriad of unfinished tracks, reference tracks, tracks that I play whilst I'm making it. So I'll use my phone, I'll press record.
Yeah.
And I would develop a track, right? What I'll do, I would stand up. If not obviously, but when a particular chord progression hits me, or like a drum pattern, like proper slams, I would have to get up off of my chair and continue developing the track whilst moving. Do you understand? And obviously, whilst that's happening, there are melodies that come in my head. Yeah. And I have to then record it. And I never want to miss what could be the next. Yeah. So sometimes there are recordings that are 20 to 30 minutes long. And I'm playing this back and I'm thinking, oh, bloody hell. I need to be as selfish as possible just as soon as I finish this community project. Do you understand? I need to get back to me because I don't know if I've said before, I feel like I'm dying when I'm not creating anything. Do you understand? Yeah. And in these moments, I'm not creating anything. More or less, the whole podcasting stuff for me, it's just automated. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I strive for efficiency, and I've done so masterfully. But I feel like I am dying.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get you.
So I know my duty is to basically deliver this particular project, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that, right? Everything is lined up in that particular understanding. So I'm fully subservient. I'm going to obey God 100%.
Absolutely.
But I need to get back to my
gagging for it.
I'm playing this and I'm thinking, bloody hell. Banger, 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 banger. Banger. The thing is, these were created for the newest project that we were going to deliver. When I say we, I'm talking about the team. Emmanuel, Moses, David. Shout out David.
Big up David.
That reminds me, I need to get him some gear.
David. You're David I met.
David.
Oh,
that
so
lovely.
lovely.
That you met. Yeah.
Big up David.
Yeah. But anyway, and again, it reminds me why it is I need to keep on getting on to Emmanuel about how much talent is within him that isn't being utilized. It's only being utilized
we're
in
just
one
talking about
particular lane. Yeah, you feel the air scratching?
Yeah, it is, but it must be burning. It's gotta be.
This guy is stupidly talented, stupidly, crazily. And I'm playing this place. I'm thinking, whew, we were gonna do something.
You said we're gonna do some things, man.
It may not have basically reached everybody because at the time we were building up our momentum. Do you understand? We were being consistent, weekly dropping videos and this, that, and next. I think the next project was gonna be called the Black Madonna. Yeah. Oh, that was gonna be a good time. A good time. Like everybody. Well, there were 3 producers. One is unknown, right? But that producer is sick. And then it was David and myself, and we had just started dumping all of the tracks into this folder. Yeah. Whereas then we would come together and we would
make the selections.
Oh my gosh. And I was just smiling last night, man. I mean, it's morning. It was like 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I just felt myself just drawn in. Yeah. But I went to bed happy.
That's good.
I woke up refreshed. I didn't feel lethargic or anything. So
that's good.
I think it's because of
maybe
the joy
playing
I felt last night.
your beats before you go to bed.
So as quickly as I can.
You're pepping your step
to deliver this this mandate and then back
get it going.
Selfish. I'm sorry, man.
Absolutely. You got me, man. How are you, Manuel?
All right, thank you, man. All right, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Thank God.
Good.
All right, so we're going into the first headline.
Oh, there's no announcements.
Yes, they
no
are.
Christian mingles, anything like that.
Christian mingle for the Yoruba clan it's still running. You still got some tickets.
Sorry, who's running this?
Somebody in the community.
Is it a secret who he is?
As in the name of the person? Let me see.
I feel like proud of the plans.
They just dropped it and dipped.
Just drop and dip. Drop and dip.
That sounds...
It doesn't sound anything. It sounds like what it sounds like.
All right. Where did they drop this? Did they drop this in general?
Drop and dip.
I like how general chat has now become the common ground.
What do you mean?
That's where everybody realizes that's where they drop stuff. As in, just to talk normally.
Oh yeah, chit chat.
Yeah.
It's
chat.
We chat a lot there, but chit chat.
I'll find it during the show,
That's cool. Let's find out. I actually don't need to know.
I'll announce it halftime. No, I'll announce the rest of them halftime too. But it's still the men's retreat. There's still. Well, I don't know if it's still tickets. I think there's still tickets. I have to ask Belinda.
Belinda.
What's the men's retreat about?
So let me just put it up. It's a wellness workshop. I think it's a mixture of body health and
soul.
I don't know. Yes, I believe so. So the speakers are a juicing alchemist, community health advisor, a mental health specialist, a mindfulness coach, and a nutritional therapist.
Nice.
So you might do well going to that.
So if a retreat is good for everybody though. I want to go on a retreat.
I don't know if it's a retreat. I think it's just like a one-day event from 2 to 6.
I want to go like a week. You know those weekend retreats?
Yeah, where is that you take off your shoes and socks and stuff?
One with the ground. What's that uncle that told us to grab the grass with your feet? That Indian man. No. I think it was like a Danai or something. But anyway, I feel like those retreats look so lovely. Just nice, refreshed, away from the world kind of vibe. That's actually that's my kind of shit, to be fair.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like I do one before I get married though.
Why? Like
just to know this is clarity.
just to be sure, yeah.
Just to be sure, man. Marriage is serious.
Yeah, you have to be mindful who talks to you during them times, isn't it?
Bro.
You're completely open.
I might have to stay off TDA, I tell you. Not gonna piss me off, that's my big day.
You were funny because you had a whole spiritual retreat and you came back even wickeder.
I didn't.
Huh?
I didn't.
No, I don't know why I said that.
I think I just came back more in tune. And I just realized that, because sometimes, I just feel like sometimes people take advantage of grace. Human beings do it with God, but human beings do it with human beings too. And I haven't even scratched the surface of my wickedness. So if anyone ever thinks I'm wicked, wow. It's been a great day.
Obviously, one can have wicked moments or moments that resemble wickedness. But for one to be wicked...
Yeah, I have to not have Jesus to that. And unfortunately for a lot of people, I've already got Jesus. So
to emanate the
glory of Jesus. Like, because I do strive to be more patient every single day. I have zero tolerance of foolishness, but every day I try to tolerate a bit more foolishness. It's not working out great, but it's trying. But yeah, man.
Oh man.
Anyway, let's get today's. Just see what it is. I'm never in the mood. I'm in a great mood, but I woke up to bad news yesterday.
What happened?
Trump won.
I thought it was bad news.
Do you know it was worse news? Do you know the maddest thing? Like, obviously, when I go to sleep, these days I don't think in my sleep anymore. So I leave the affairs of the world in the world, and then when I go to sleep where I sleep. And I wake up, I was like, I feel so refreshed. I turned my alarm off, so I was late for work anyway, but that didn't matter. But I just felt like, I feel so refreshed today. Wake up. My mum with the bad news, talking about Trump won. I said, won what? Like, he's the president again. I said, you know what? This is just too much. Like, it's just, girl, I just came out of the shower. Like, I feel very fresh. And she was about to go to the hospital. I said, I'm late for work. I just shut my door. I said, please, like, not now. And I just thought, wow, what a world we live in. Wow.
She said, wow.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. But anyway, we're here now. Unfortunately.
We are here now, and God is still sovereign.
Absolutely. Amen. And some people think God brought Trump in there.
You don't understand.
Do you know how crazy that is?
So many clips, right? I've just been bookmarking. I'm like, I need to show this.
Can I say that? You know what's so mad? Because some people think that believing in God is a mental illness.
Yes, I do believe that. Yeah.
I don't believe that, right? But people that tweet like that, I'm like, I see you're the one that's doing this to the PR. Like, I see why people think that it's you're not, it's some screws loose. It's like, I get it. I see where these people who think that, you are the reason why. Because Jesus is king and Trump is too, is wild.
Oh, is that what you saw? Wild. That was the bars.
Where people are putting Jesus in there.
Ah, those are the bars.
Nah.
You're literally queuing up one of the clips for me to segue to that I bookmarked.
You're on crack.
Oh my gosh, because I've been clipping up from both sides, innit?
Sick.
Like a lot of Republicans are like rejoicing, and they're looking for content from what they call the liberal tiers, and obviously they then get their followers to share the one, so I don't have to go anywhere. I just have to
you just have to find one, you find them all.
And Esther, like, it's terrible.
Some of terrible.
Clips are terrible. And I'm thinking, bloody hell.
It's like Christians are so insufferable, Such just annoying people.
No, I'm not even just talking about Christians. I'm just talking about, like, the people on the...
Oh, all Trump supporters anyway.
No, I'm not even talking about Trump supporters,
That's crazy.
The liberal tiers are the tiers of the left, innit? Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking, this is what people jump on the internet and record. And I'm questioning, is this just for content and clicks, or are you really going through this?
Listen.
are you really going through this? Let me just show you.
Please.
This isn't what I'm currently talking about, but this is what I was referencing with the whole Christian stuff, right? So this is some of his team after they got the news.
I know you lying. Do you know I'm so mad? Do you know I'm so mad? That's a banging song. That's a banging hymn. That's why I'm mad about this.
Wait. Let me.
Need to get me to start singing.
They're saying thank you, Jesus, you know.
I see the stars. I hear the rolling thunder.
This in the chorus, Brent.
Here we go.
Oh, what song?
Look, they had to.
Listen. The harmonies.
Okay.
They're harmonizing. Wow. Nah, man.
That's how you know that's a multinational crowd scene right now.
It's a glee club. That's a glee club, child.
So I'm there telling you, right?
Dude, you are serious, Brent.
Someone should have brought a trumpet.
I'm telling you, these conservative Christians, I'm telling you, he had a solid base over there that was sending up prayers on his behalf.
No, do you know what they're doing? They're interceding. You know the
I'm
intercession?
telling you.
The intercession crew? They don't play.
I'm telling you.
They don't play. The intercession crew? Oh, they don't play. I can't believe that's the song they went for.
I'm telling you. This is tough. I think this was...
Jason say how great God is. How great thou art because Trump won.
Yo.
This is what happens, man.
Never make it out of the hood.
When the left want to talk about we don't need God in schools, this is what you get.
But Trump is an adulterer.
Nothing to do with it.
He's a
we will get into this because boy,
how great that art.
Because boy,
for a person that even used. Did you see that picture of the video of Melania, allegedly Melania, what's her name? His wife.
Melania.
Oh,
you're talking about Trump's wife?
Yeah, but that was a doppelganger. It wasn't her.
Yeah.
He got an actress.
To stand in?
Yes, bro. You know, you know that all this shit pisses her off. And you remember last time she made it clear that she was never moving to the White House. So I know she was mad when he won again. She's thinking, gosh, she hates that man. They had some. Do you know the dead giveaway? She was smiling. She was happy. That woman has never looked happy. She looks happy when she's away from him. When she's standing next to him, I couldn't believe the audacity to actually have a doppelganger like so clear in everyone's eyes like that.
Crazy.
What a liar. Anyway.
Alex, let's get into these.
Please,
headlines,
okay.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
These headlines.
It's a day.
All right, people. So, our first headline. Kamala Harris, who, as you guys know, lost yesterday, vowed to keep fighting in her first speech after her 2024 presidential election loss to Donald Trump. The vice president's voice appeared to crack as she told a crowd at Howard University in Washington, D.C., the light of the American promise will always burn bright as long as we never give up. Making a concession speech, Ms. Harris detailed her call with her Republican opponent following his victory, declaring that the U.S. must accept the results of this election. She also pledged to help Mr. Trump and his team with their transition and engage in a peaceful transfer of power. Do you guys feel some type of way that she came out the next day?
No.
Why?
I don't. Why would I?
Because everybody else comes out on the day.
That was good for everybody else.
Wasn't it? Weren't things still being counted?
Yeah, it was still counted. I heard there's people that I've seen the whole thing since yesterday that people that voted in the post. It's not saying that their votes have been counted.
Yeah, but none of their votes would have mattered. Like it was a landslide victory, and it was decided before the show.
That's 20 million people you're talking about.
It makes no difference.
That's fair. But no, I don't feel a way that she took the next day. I'm not going to First, I'm the vice president. I've got things to do. Secondly, as well, the hell do you think this is? I'm not just a TV host, but I respect taking the time to do the next day. Really think about it. Shows that you really thought about what you were gonna do, and you're not just coming to just say something. Because once we get this audience now, we don't want to hear what you got to say the next day. So you better make sure whatever speech you're giving us counts. Even if she took 2 days, if she decided to do next week one day, I'm not mad at it. I mean, it's not as if he's going into office next week. He can wait.
All right.
He's what's it looking at? He can wait.
Well, the next headline brings us back to the UK, where the Treasury's top official has denied breaking the law over the £22 billion black hole the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, claimed to have found in the public finances. Permanent Secretary James Bowler said changes had been made in the way information is provided to the budget watchdog, but insisted that there had been no breach of the law ahead of Jeremy Hunt's final financial statement in March. The OBR's chief, Richard Hughes, told MPs on Tuesday that there are about £9.5 billion of pressure on departments' budgets, which they did not disclose to us, which under the law and under the Act they should have done. By the time of the election, that figure had grown to £22 billion, the black hole which Ms Reeves has used as a political weapon to attack the Tories. Mr Bowler said that in the future, a bottom-up approach to forecasting the departmental expenditure limits would be used with greater sharing of information. And our last headline, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, has suggested that she wants to stop new council homes in England from being sold under the Right to Buy scheme. I'd like to know what, the chat and everybody in the room thinks of that, right? Angela Rayner told the BBC that the government would put new restrictions on new social homes in England so that we aren't losing that stock. For decades, the Right to Buy scheme has allowed social housing tenants to buy their homes, often at a significant discount. Ms Rayner said that the country was facing a homelessness crisis as she announced £10 million to help rough sleepers get through the winter. Right to Buy was introduced by Margaret Thatcher and her government in 1980. Since then, more than 2 million homes have been sold. The policy was initially credited with increasing rates of home ownerships, but more recently has been blamed for contributing to the rise in homelessness. Labour has pledged to build the largest number of social and council homes since World War II, and Ms Rayner told the BBC that she doesn't want those newly built properties leaving the system. And that's it for the headlines.
All right, let's get into what you're saying, topic of the day. Stacey.
I was just about to address that.
Stacey, if you just met us, Stacey said, please, I hope topic of the day is not about the election. Now, girl.
But why didn't she read the title?
It has to be.
You read the site. This is what the whole left didn't do.
I take that. But I take that as a compliment, though.
That what?
She just sees TDA, she just clicks.
Don't
matter what the caption, don't matter. She just clicks. Which I love. I absolutely love that. But I was actually hoping Stacey would go on Discord. I don't know if she's in the mood, though. But I was hoping Stacey would, tell us some things.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from her.
That's the reality. She's living it. So I appreciate everything that Stacey's got to say.
True indeed.
Sorry, Stacey, just today. Unless something happens every night. But just today.
Well, to be honest, this show takes us where the news are, to be honest.
This is the thing. Because I'll be honest with you guys, there's hardly any celebrity news. Hardly any word on road. Everyone's been behaving themselves. Everyone's actually been just focusing on the election.
Yeah, as you should, man. This is like the most important thing in the world, pretty much. Yes. So basically, in fact,
I did a poll yesterday.
What happened?
Read the outcome. So, 272 people on our stream voted, right?
Oh, nice.
Cool. And the majority of the people voted that this was good news.
No, wait. What was the question?
What was the question posed yesterday?
The good news.
It was this. What was the title of yesterday's bloody stream? Let me just go back to it. Sorry, Maya, continue talking. I'll just find the information I need.
Yeah, basically, obviously today, I did want Brent to play a clip from James O'Brien where he's speaking about Trump and the things people care about and don't care about. And I think this is what people got pretty much misconstrued. Everyone, I think, was focusing, when I say everyone on the left, was pretty much focusing on the character of Donald Trump. And I think in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't mean anything. Like, why like, it really doesn't, though, because at the end of the day, even if, like, he was to personally insult you, surely you care about the conditions that you're going to live under more. And when you factor that in, and factor in the fact that Joe Biden also called Trump supporters all garbage, like, aren't they both as bad as each other? And then you just have to focus on the policies. And the fact that Trump won in the way he won, this is the greatest landslide in history. Like, I don't even know.
I don't think that they are as bad as each other.
Okay.
If you just talk about what each person came to the table bringing, right?
Okay.
Trump is a felon.
Yeah.
Right? He's morally bankrupt, ethically bankrupt, in the eyes of a lot of people, by the way. I'm just saying. Obviously, not
to everybody.
Not to everybody, right? And even there are people who are in the center, who were on the left, who were on the right, who even saw him as a felon, but to them, that doesn't matter. Yeah, because what they care about was inflation. What they care about was the amount of people that were coming in and then getting benefits.
Yeah, because it's far more important.
So if he's there saying, I'm going to help allay your fears, it doesn't matter, again, to them, who that person was. Do you understand?
Yep.
And I don't know if that's what you're gonna play from James O'Brien. I didn't watch any of LBC yesterday.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it.
I did a lot of like looking around the interwebs and seeing the reactions and people's opinions and thoughts about how Kamala lost, why she lost, was she even given a chance? It was 100 and something days, right?
Yeah, because she wasn't originally the first one to run, was she? As in, like the first, was she always the one that was on the ticket?
Biden should have never have started that run.
Yes, I forgot he was
ever.
The one.
Yes, you remember? They were there telling us, he's fine.
It's absolute
That guy is half dead, you know. He let his...
Everything's fine. he has complete control of his agency. Everything...
Yeah,
all his faculties are all working perfectly. Even Kamala was responsible for coming out and saying, I talk to him all the time. He's rock solid. He's sharp.
They don't want to lie.
He's sharp. Now bear in mind, I understand as to why it is that they were putting out that particular narrative, right? Why would you look to undermine the current ruling party or government, right? Because if there's questions about his mental faculties, then America's in trouble. There's no one at the helm, right? It's a vegetable. So that's why they had to continue that. But if you know that there is an election around the corner, and you're seeing how he is behaving, not just behind the scenes, by the way.
No, but like
when he's on the podium.
World stage.
When he's on the podium.
World stage.
Come on. You set her up for failure.
Yeah.
I don't know if she can run again. I don't know if that's possible.
In no universe.
I don't know if that's possible.
Why no universe?
Sorry.
You're basing your voice is too much.
Not in this one.
Why not? Why can't she do it again? Trump did it again.
When you lose like that, no chance.
What do you mean you lose like that?
She lost horribly.
Yeah, but so did Trump last time. And
No,
here he was.
He didn't.
Oh, yeah,
he did.
Yes, he did.
Lose horribly to Biden. To Biden, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Don't say horribly.
No, he did.
Don't say horribly.
All right, so the stats currently...
Did he lose all of the states that can go either way? Did he lose the House?
Okay, I thought you meant horribly in relation to what he did the first time.
What do you mean?
He won the first time. Yeah. The second time, he lost horribly.
It was still close. He lost, but it was still close.
No. I saw the figures. I think it said... I want to actually look at the figures this time.
You need to if you're going to say he lost horribly.
No, I'm talking about... This time round, it wasn't as bold as the first time he won.
What do you mean?
The people who turned out to vote for him this time,
Yeah.
it wasn't as bold as the people who turned out in 2016.
So you're saying he won by a greater margin in 2016?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
This is what I'm saying. This thing I'm saying with Gusto
Yeah.
is what I basically saw. And then 15 million less people turned out to vote for the Democrats. And they were trying to, well, some people were trying to basically say, is there something dubious in here? Somebody hit 15 million votes. But yes, less people turned out to vote for Trump this time than in 2016.
But Brent, the swing states...
But man, this isn't really something you should care about.
No. It's important just because obviously we're talking about Kamala Harris and her having another chance, right?
Yes.
I just don't see
I think she can run again. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to run again.
I don't think
if you've got a half-dead Biden that tried to run again, I don't see why someone who has the experiences and quality and experience that she does, why she wouldn't be allowed to run again just because people think it's embarrassing that she lost. Someone had to lose.
It's not that it's embarrassing. It's more so that, remember, Democrats, not her fault, right? But they didn't have no primary. They had no opportunity to choose who they wanted to really stand as a Democrat because of how long this bloody old guy took, right? But even when they were trying to do all of that prior to her becoming the VP, right? I think she got like 1% of the vote. She was out in the first round. Yeah. Plus, out in the first round, so that means nobody wants you. Secondly, you've now been promoted to VP, right? Obviously because she's black, she's a woman or whatever. So that helps Biden's...
You say obviously, boy.
No, because that helps Biden's appeal to the left, right? Obviously that helped, and Biden won. But now you've had the opportunity to now go for president.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They would never choose her. Never. The Democrats will have to put her forward and they will never do it.
I think they've ruined
I don't know about
her.
that.
I think the Democrats has ruined her. And I think that's
Partly,
unfair.
yeah.
I think that is unfair. It's totally
I don't think
unfair.
it's just them though. I wouldn't even, I think it's also her timing and wanting to take that position, which makes sense though, because you're the vice president, right? And to be fair to her, and like, remember, it's against the system for, remember, there's a certain amount of money that Biden raised for the campaign, innit? That money couldn't have gone to anybody else. It couldn't have gone to Shapiro, couldn't have gone to Newsom, couldn't have gone to nobody else, right? It would have had to stay within that ticket of Biden and Harris. So really, she's the only one, unless you're going to start trying to campaign to raise more money. So it did kind of force her hand at the same time. But at the same time, I think if you looked at the media at the time, a lot of people didn't believe in her. You know what I mean?
Sorry, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Just want to see your baseline. Do you think that she chose to run?
Yeah, I do think so.
You don't think her party basically chose for her to run?
No, I think it's a combination of both. I think she wanted to, but I think also...
No. I'm not sure if that's the question I asked you, if she wanted to.
Okay.
Right? How American politics work and party politics work, do you think that it is up to the person on the VP, in the VP position, to decide if she's going to run?
No, it'll be your party that decides, right?
So I'm just wanting to understand that.
Yeah, but the VP would also, most times the VP would want to run anyway. Because most times the VP tried to run in the beginning, just like she did.
Why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, conversation-wise, right? The amount of time that particular person had to turn around all the madness that Biden basically caused, right? Not just Biden, the party caused, because they were responsible for keeping that man on the bill, right? I think that they set her up for failure. This is my argument. Hence me asking you the question: who do you think is responsible for pushing these people to the fore?
Why do you think they set her up for failure?
I think that
it's
they realized.
I
think they realized that this was a
lost cause.
100%. And I don't want you in the back of my head telling me, well, I think it's my turn next because I served y'all well as VP. I dumbed myself down to make Biden look good. I came out and sung his praises against better judgment. So y'all, I've worked for this next run, right? Now, I believe that she didn't want to just come true and stand in Biden's space this time around because of the probability of her being successful. It was such a short amount of time, right? And she would have needed time to have the nation see her in her true glory. I believe she has been, and I could be absolutely wild on this particular point, I believe she's been towing the line for the longest while. I don't feel as though she's been presenting herself to the public. She's been presenting the position that she has been asked to play. Do you understand? Yeah. And that's me assuming, right? And maybe because I watched a couple of, not documentaries, but little videos that people made of her run up her career path and whatnot, and she's very, very capable. And what she was presenting each time, how it is that she was just going in front of the cameras and just looking to say, look how nasty Trump is. Are you gonna rely on this fascist and this? These particular talking points, they weren't doing her well at all.
It's bogus.
And I do believe she was giving those particular lines to focus on. Yeah. That particular strategy, it was given to her. I don't think she came up with it. Now, you can say, well, she should have used her adult voice and her agency to say, no, I want to do such and such. But I don't think that's how party politics work. I don't think that you can basically decide how you're going to be running this particular race. Do you understand?
I mean, I think it's very nice of you to remove all of the responsibility from her.
That does sound like that, doesn't it?
Entirely. But the reality is that woman is what she is, and she tried her best. And I'll be honest with you, I do. It may not sound this way, but I do give her credit because she only had 100+ days. There was really no chance. They used all their money, they pushed into the media, they did certain things, but I just think the strategy was poor. You keep insulting.
That's so funny. When I asked you the other day who you thought was going to win, why did you say Kamala?
Because of exactly that, because of the media. That's what I said as well that day. I said because of the media. The media has made us believe that she's got this.
I don't think the media can make you think anything, Mr. Critical Thinking.
No, because obviously...
You're reading off the reasons why you don't think she was going to win.
Yeah.
So why on earth would you have thought she was going to win if you could see through the media then?
You're saying he got, but that's not an indictment, to be honest.
It's not an indictment.
It's an indictment on Emmanuel because he doesn't like to admit that he's been fooled.
Yeah, so it's definitely an indictment on him because it's a thing where, like, you're speaking as if that this is very matter of factly she was never going to win. But then if you had all this information, you should have kept the energy the other day.
No, because remember.
No, she makes a point. So before you respond, process it, right?
There's nothing.
She's saying, if you knew for certain Trump was going to win, why didn't you go with Margs?
I never knew Trump was going to win. That's why I never said that. It is very clear. I'm saying to you, I thought Kamala was going to win because of how much money they put in. They made almost the entirety of the media push Kamala. The money, everything the backing was all behind her. I thought she could potentially pull this off because of how much people I thought also disliked Trump as well. But it turns out just the guy isn't enough. And many people said this. We said we don't know her policies. We said these things many a times, but I thought, you know what? With the media on her side, she might be able to pull this off.
I reckon that's a little inaccurate about them not knowing the policies.
It is,
man. It took the longest while,
No, but people did not know sorry, Brent, but you found out here the other day that that whole narrative about her, about the how she did this, lock black men up and blah blah, all of that had been what's the word? Yeah. So I feel like you did. Because you acted shocked when Brent was saying it. I'm not going to go back and...
We spoke about this before, many times.
No, you did. There was something about her that you thought that you said the media had been saying, and Brent was saying, no, that's actually been disproved. And then you were like, has it really? And Brent was like, yes, it has. And it was like a whole, has it really? Yes, it has. Da, da, da. But the thing is, when it comes to her policies, that's for each individual to know.
Yeah.
It can't be a thing of nobody knew her policies. If she had policies and the policies were there and it was what she was speaking about and whatever else, if people choose not to pay attention to it because you believe that she hates black men, that's an individual's problem. It's not because, like, saying that people didn't know what her policies were makes it seem as though she never had any policies. Like, she just ran off vibes. But information was there. People just didn't look it up.
The issue is it's not the individual's problem. The problem is Kamala's problem. Because
because again, like you just said, it's the media though.
No.
The media made people focus more on whether she was Indian or black.
No.
Where people were missing all the other important things that were there.
I think the media, social media did that. But the media, as in ABC, NBC, all these other people were pushing the fact that this woman is whatever she is. Years ago, they were pushing the Borders Are thing. In the more recent election, run up to the election, nobody spoke about that. People were talking about disproving it, especially on social media, right?
No. It started early, and then it because everybody changed their tune because of the debunking of the stuff. But I was cut off earlier. Let me just finish my point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! Lost thought. Never mind. Sorry for interrupting you. Go on.
No, I'm basically just trying to say it's not the individual's problem. It's down to the candidate who wants to win. Make sure that we know.
There we go.
Know what I'm saying?
Got it. Mm-hmm. Can I interject? All right, cool. So I believe that a lot of them knew policies. I believe that a lot of them felt it was just carrying on of the same. Remember, Biden started this particular run, right? Yeah. So to say that they didn't know policies, I believe that a lot of them felt that, but you've already told us what your policies are. Mm-hmm. We've seen what you've done for the last 4 years. This is just going to be more of the same, right? And what Trump was saying was in contrast to a few of the things that they really cared about, that they were feeling tangibly, right? And this is politics. Politics is find out what it is the people want, what they fear the most, and just give them hope that you can basically achieve that.
So why didn't she do that?
No, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have. I'm not saying that she should have. I'm saying this is what Trump did. That's why my initial point where left, center, and right voters, they were just looking around at their life and they were seeing, all right, this is happening to me right now. And the people who were in government, probably, blaming them for getting me here. The person who is saying they're going to basically help me out of this is Trump. So I'm going to vote for Trump. It doesn't matter whether it is he's a felon. Doesn't matter whether it is that he has 26 charges of sexual abuse against him. Doesn't matter if it is he's a racist, a fascist. I mean, even his own bloody people, cabinet, when it is that he fired them, he said, hey, by the way, this guy is this, that, and next. It wasn't this whole fascist mantra that they were rolling out. It wasn't because they were just making it up. It's because his own staff that he fired basically told the world, by the way, behind the scenes, this is who this guy is. But none of that matters if he is saying, I'm going to help you with all of your affairs. That's politics. And she didn't do that.
Yeah, because she didn't do that. Strategy. And because there's so many different reasons. Again, I do give her credit. She didn't have enough time and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think she was going to beat Trump anyway, right? I just thought she would because of the media. It seemed like the entirety of American media just turned on Trump and went for Kamala. So I thought that would be, in the end, the thing that pushes her over the line. But also...
So you said you didn't think she was going to beat Trump, but then you did think she was going to beat Trump because of the media. No,
I thought she was going to beat Trump because of the media. I didn't think Trump was going to win this election because of the media. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
But when I'm assessing it and I'm looking at it, I'm seeing...
After the fact?
Yeah, of course. I'm now seeing very clearly the reasons why. Because as much as the world seems crazy, the world is also a sane place. You can't just call somebody a fascist, a racist, and a Hitler and expect that to win elections. You can't take advantage of you can't take advantage of working class people and assume you've got black votes and Puerto Rican votes in the bag. You can't do that. You can't just talk about women's rights and abortion, all that sort of stuff, when that doesn't affect everyone in the damn country. Talk about the economy, talk about inflation. People don't like paying more than they have to for things. It's very, very simple.
I'm not...
Every single person that voted, right, majority of them said the things I care about is the economy and immigration.
Yeah.
Right?
Question.
Focus on that.
Question. I'm not sure if it is worse for somebody to take advice from a liar who has been proven to be a liar.
Okay.
Or take promises from a liar who's been proven to be a liar.
Okay.
Right? Now, as I said, politics is about giving hope or instilling hope in the voter base. And not just the voter base, people who aren't even in your base, right? That's what you need to do. At the very minimum, look to answer their questions. Look to give them solutions to their problems. That's the very basic, right?
Yes.
But if there's been no evidence you've done that previously, and again, based on your character, we know you would say anything to get the deal over the line, right? And that's what I think could have been focused on. I hear you, Trump, saying that he's going to give you this, that, and the next, and this, that, and next. But why are you going to believe him?
Yeah,
100% just call him a fascist. They should have realized it wasn't changing people's minds about the price of gas.
Nothing.
About the price of what their mortgage, right? It's not. Who cares? Because
nobody.
They've now clocked that all of y'all are wicked anyway. They've clocked that all of y'all are wicked, just in different ways, right?
All of us. They're all the same.
When I say y'all, I'm talking about the working class looking at the upper elites, because that's how he's positioned himself. He's positioned himself as one of them. He's gone in McDonald's and starts, flipping burgers and whatnot. Yeah. He's gone into a truck. He has convinced them that he's one of them, which is bonkers. So I hear what you're saying, but there's still stupidity that is riddled.
Yeah.
Amongst so many of those people who voted for Trump.
But Brent, it doesn't that...
And I know, hope sometimes come hand in hand with stupidity. I hear you. But my friend, I am going to be interested in the years to come. I'm going to see all of those promises that he made to them.
Yeah.
I want to see if it is that they're... Did I just see Vaughn in the Discord? Vaughn, come true, man, bro. Come true. Good morning, Stacey. Good morning, Ramsey.
Morning, y'all.
Morning.
Talk to us.
Ramsey on Discord when she should be inside the studio, you know.
I know.
Sir, you are on the show.
Sorry. I will be there soon. I promise.
Good.
I think I can't lie to you, though. I kind of thought Trump was going to win from early. I feel like this is going to sound crazy, but there's many reasons. As soon as that dickhead started to become funny again, I was like, we've got a problem. Harris has got a problem. And I agree with you lot when you lot said that. Sorry, I can hear myself in the background and stuff messing me up. I agree with the fact that Biden should have backed down earlier. But there's a plethora of reasons why she lost. She didn't have a clear policy. And she was almost too centrist, which always appeals to the right. She had a weak economic message. Her handling of foreign policy was garbage. Obviously, I'm going to bring up Gaza. And I feel like that also really fucked her up in regards to the swing states, Michigan, and all the Arab voters. Mm-hmm. And she focused too much on the abortion rights, like Eman brought up earlier. He didn't do the rounds on all the... There's a lot to be said right now in the way the media runs in America. The podcast now and the Tucker Carlsons and the Joe Rogans and all of these big podcasts means a lot. So the fact that Trump went on there and went on Joe Rogan podcast was huge for him, right?
Yes, it was.
It was a shame that the only thing that Kamala did was go on The View. And even when she went on The View and they asked her, yo, what is there? What can you tell us about yourself? She had nothing to say.
Joke thing.
She didn't come up with anything until days after.
Basing your voice for someone that said she was going to win. That's pissing me off, you know. Like, I'm so sorry, Ramsey, because you're saying jokes, but you were the joke as well. You thought she was going to win. You sat here and thought that social media. So you knew she only went to. No, you knew she only went to The View and she did a piss poor job on there. But you sat here, Mr. Critical Thinking. You never had anyone to think critically. You did nothing. You didn't even attempt to think critically. Man, sitting there talking about joking. Yeah, I know, right? Doing all these expressions. Whole time you sat here, the joke is Marx just said it just even be different. That's a joke. That's a joke. You could have brought the economics into Marx's stance. You didn't. Sip your smoothie, man.
At the end of the day, like I said, at the end of the day, I thought she could have done it because of the media. The media is powerful. We know this.
Yeah, so usually
it just wasn't powerful enough.
Anyway,
it just wasn't.
Yeah. So the whole thing with I lost my track now.
You said she went on The View.
Yeah, that was it. So she that was it. Thank you. So she was balancing still being respectful to her current boss and also trying to find a lane of her own. But she's doing all of that with little to no time. She had no personality. She had no presence. In the run-up to the election. It was just poorly run. It was awful. But I need to reiterate, how bad this dickhead is. The Muslim travel ban, the family separation policy, the DACA appeal, the Charlottesville comments, the use of federal forces in protest. What else did he do? He got buddy with Vladimir Putin. He downplayed COVID-19, the deregulation of all the environmental policies, the claims of electoral fraud. He was even dropped by his VP. He was condemned by that walking humanoid turtle corpse, Mitch McConnell, and the head of, I think was it head of security, head of FBI, said that this guy is a detriment and a threat to the USA. That was all while he was in power, right? We can't forget none of that. I feel like everyone's forgotten about that.
Ramsey, what's the Muslim ban got to do with how Americans are going to vote?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying we need to now remember the type of person that is now one of the most powerful people or person in the world.
I thought you were
can't be that.
I'm painting it. I'm painting a picture.
Okay, cool. I thought you were basically trying to say like, why weren't people kind of considering this when voting, sort of thing?
They were.
Well,
okay, go on.
Sorry. Literally, I said it in the chat, but like, both, you said something earlier where you were like, the American people or Trump supporters care about the type of living conditions they're voting for or whatever. I'm like, sir, both of you to assume they give a fuck about any of that. Like, Trump supporters like the idea of what Trump stands for, not him as a character, not his policies.
Mm-hmm.
It's what he stands for. Division, racism, hyper conservatism, whatever the fuck the word is. That is what Trump and Make America Great Again, his slogan, embodies. That is why things like abortion, Muslim ban, immigration tightening is the stuff he's spewing, because that feeds into their racist ideals.
Grab him by the pussy.
Literally. They could give a fuck about his policies in other areas. Do you hate Black people? Are you going to ban Muslims? Are you going to stop Mexicans from coming across the border? Yes, is his answer. And that is all they give a fuck about. They were willing to vote against themselves, which is quite literally what they're doing, in order to boost up that rhetoric.
The issue is, well, one of the issues is, like, a lot of people, if you ask them, be poor and deeply in love, or be crazy rich and be void of love, what will people choose? Because I think...
What you say?
Hold on, Eman. Hold on. Let's ignore that for a second. That's irrelevant. Eman, you're acting like the guy that's in power now doesn't have an itchy trigger finger. That is the issue, right? So when you keep on bringing up economics, yes, I understand what you're saying. He can paint himself under the guise of, look, this is what I'm going to do for you in regards to tax. I don't like tax. Look at me. I'm a rich guy, blah, blah, blah. But that isn't really the main issue that I have a problem with. Yeah, I have a problem with the fact that this Donny is clearly unhinged.
Yeah.
He is clearly insecure. He clearly doesn't even have a grasp of his own fucking life. And yet we're going to let him take control of one of the strongest countries and economies in the world.
I think this is the problem. You're definitely one of these people, Ramsey. You don't like to give credit.
Please tell me.
You don't like to give credit where credit is due, right? And the thing is, even though you wanna you don't like somebody, you should still be able to acknowledge why somebody's great at what they do. This guy has, for decades, right, been a marketing genius. The guy's failed many times, but every single time come back.
Okay.
No. It's just true. It's just true. He's come back every single time.
Yeah, but you can't say the marketing genius. We've had 100 businesses and 20 of them have gone well. That's a 20% hit rate.
Listen, if you put money into 10 different businesses and only one of them go well and one of them makes you £1 billion, what are you? Please.
Successful, not a genius. Successful, not a genius.
Okay.
You said genius. What are you talking about?
Okay. All you needed to win an election was success. That's what he did. And he's been successful for decades. Don't downplay what he does.
I'm not arguing that. You just said genius. I'm only arguing with the word genius.
He's a marketing genius. Because the marketing genius, he needed that to be what he is. He's a brand. Stacey just said people buy into who he is. How is it that people can say, you know what, I don't really care about him being a felon. I don't care about the racism or fascism. I just buy into who he is because of how he presents himself.
Because it's celebrity culture.
But that's what I'm trying to say to you.
But in what world are we now saying that? I'm so sorry, Stacey. Yeah. When we look on paper, Kamala's experiences and qualifications, it outweighs Trump's. Yeah. Yes, Trump is a successful businessman. Mm-hmm. However, the politics, being the president of a nation, being the president of the free world is politics.
Yeah.
It's not business ideas. So in what world? No. You can say the economics part. That's fair enough. But when it comes to politics, it's beyond. It's more. There's more to it than just economics.
True.
So in what world are we saying that as a celebrity, flipping, you should make Kanye a thingy then? If Kanye hadn't have said that slavery was a choice, that man would probably go in the White House then. If we're going to be, because this is like practically what it is that gets with attention, is just being a celebrity. The man is not. He's not. Doesn't matter how many businesses you say he's done well for. He's become a billionaire for. Blah 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 blah. He's still not qualified in the position that he's going for. And people talk about it as if his first presidency was the best thing. He got criticized as well.
Yeah, 100%. So, but I hear what you're saying. The reality is, right, every single person will be criticized in their tenure in office. It's just going to happen. But the reality is, again, all I'm simply saying is, if you want to like just blame the fact that that he's X, Y, and Z and say he's intellectually and morally and ethically bankrupt and all this sort of stuff, right? You're doing the other side a big disservice. You will not be able to learn from your mistakes. You can't do that. The man knows what he's doing. Even if you think it's stupid for him to go into McDonald's, the public in America don't.
To get the votes,
to get the votes.
Yeah, be very specific.
Yeah, exactly. To get the votes. You might not buy into it, but 300 million people did, right? Or at least half of them did, right? And the reality is this, for you to win all swing states, for you to win back the Senate, for you to maintain the House, you can't just say, oh, you know what, it's because she's black and a woman. We can't do that. Like, you have to look at the policies.
That's something I want to add. That's something I want to add on to as well.
Okay, good, right? But you can't just look into it. You have to look at the strategies and say to yourself, he's obviously done something that taps into the mind and the psyche of the American voter. Why do they want him? They want him because he cares about the things, or at least he says he cares about the things that they care about. It's just economics and it's immigration.
Like, you're giving this man way too much credit.
The man won. The man won. You have to give it. Look.
Okay. We gave it to him.
Yeah,
we're not arguing that.
That's what I'm saying too.
I'm just
it's
saying your perspective gives him way too much credit. Like you're oversimplifying what it is, and you're first of all, you are giving stupid people way too much intelligence points. It's like they're not.
I'm happy you said that.
If he's stupid, are you saying he's stupid or the American voters?
No, I'm saying the American people are stupid.
Okay,
like,
100%.
They are not thinking about all the things you're thinking about.
Okay.
Their mind only goes but so far.
Literally.
Additionally,
pause 1 second. Pause 1 second. I'm going to ask you a question after seeing this video, Stacey. The question is, do you think this person is stupid? Right? Hold up. I'm going to play a video. All right.
It is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only.
I saw that.
His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian people?
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
So for this man, just answer that question. Do you think he's stupid, Stacey?
It's educated ignorance.
Is that just a synonym?
And that's what you're saying,
stupidity?
It's a form of stupidity.
All right, cool. Now, this man exists, and I don't think he's alone with the thoughts that he portrayed or conveyed in that particular
Not at all.
sitting, right? What did the
70
Democrats
something million
do?
of them.
What did the Democrats do to speak to his fears?
Sorry, what's the question?
What did the Dems do? And I don't want to. I'm going to put you on the stage. By the way, it's to anybody in the room or on the panel. What did the Dems do to address his concerns?
Absolutely nothing.
I don't think they needed to. I don't think that was the focus of where the attention was.
And why don't you think that immigration was important this time around?
I didn't say it wasn't important. You asked me a question about their target audience.
They didn't need to?
I said your question was pertaining to why the Democrats didn't target that audience. I'm saying that I feel, me, Stacey, feel like they didn't need to. If you have a mindset like that that's rooted in racism, it's a internal thing. You're a Democrat. That's like trying to convert Texas. It just won't happen. They are diehard Republicans. They know where to invest their time, and that's a lost cause. If that's where your mind is at, saving the white majority, you're not worried about the type of policies that we have to offer. You're not our target audience.
Yeah, different question I have to ask you, because he seems like an extreme of the type of demographic I'm talking about. But there are so many that aren't as extreme, that aren't as quote unquote racist as he is sitting down calmly, chomping his food, conveying. How did they speak to that particular demographic, the ones who aren't like him?
But let me tell you something, yeah. If I was a Democrat, I would have leaned in to the fact that Obama deported so many people. That's what I would have said. I would have said, of course we care about immigration. Look what we did. Look what we did under Biden. 2 million gone. Obama, 3 million gone. It's not hard.
And it's politics at the end of the day.
That's it.
It's politics. You know full well that people have fears. And you probably know the fears that they have, because you just have to look at the right, look at the media on the right and see what they're talking about, right? So just address them. They're going to come up. They're going to come up because they swayed people on the left. They swayed people in the center. Sorry, Ramsey?
So I was just going to say, this is why being a centrist is very, very, very problematic.
Of course.
This is what happens. When you don't say anything and you stay in the middle, the right always gets their way. Look what just happened with France. It's crazy, and I'm worried that what happened in France and what's happened in America is going to happen here because we have a centrist pussy government.
I said this for months.
It's so dangerous.
Everyone's moving to the right. I said this.
You're not wrong. I just saw a poll that said that I think between the ages 18 to 34-year-olds I think it was in this country agree with Trump. We're seeing a lot of the younger lot move to the right. And I don't know, I can't speak to where it comes from or why, but we're seeing a lot of our younger voters move towards the right now.
Yeah, that is a common thing at the moment.
Yeah. And remember, we spoke about this before. It said you've seen it throughout Europe.
Yeah.
Like, all of these things should be in the mind of these people. The other day, Brent, obviously you were being a bit extreme with it, but you were saying you could potentially see a world where Farage has some real influence. Like, why is the left not thinking about this?
You think Farage doesn't have influence now?
No, but I'm saying you meant like in terms of reform getting more, you know what I'm saying? Like being in opposition to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't think it's gonna happen?
I don't see it. Yeah. But the fact is,
I do. I agree with Brent.
Look, that's what I'm saying to you. So you see it, Brent. Ramsey, you see it. The left, why are they not seeing it? You know what I'm saying? Put something in place. Put something in place to prevent it from happening. Because if it goes reform, I don't know when the left's getting it back, you know. To go that far, right? I don't know when the left's getting it back.
Can I answer your question in the chat, Eman?
Yes.
Or more like your statement that you said in the chat. You said something to the extent, here's what you said. You said, this is why losers stay losing.
Yeah.
No real analysis of where they go wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I think, particularly with this election, what was most surprising and what caught everybody off guard the most, I don't know about Kamala and her team more than likely.
Yeah.
This, I said yesterday, and I posted on my story, I'm sure y'all saw it. I think that a conversation that's brewing, especially on this side, is the shock about how we go about categorizing the different demographics in America. I said on my story, we need to delete this term people of color. They often say categorize it as BIPOC.
Mm.
They put all these different minorities into one pot.
Yeah.
And they say we're targeting that group, minorities.
Mm.
Minorities are not the same.
Facts.
If you look at the demographics of Black people, that's why I say a lot of people said, oh, here come Black women about to blame Black men. Actually, Black men came out to the polls and voted Democrat. Black men did exceptionally well with this election. It is our quote unquote allies who went and showed their ass.
But Stacey, I don't want to cut you. Sorry, go
on. People of color, Asians, Latinos,
Arabs.
who came and literally tipped the election.
Yeah, they fucked it up. Arabs fucked it up.
So I think if there's anything that was done wrong, it was really not anticipating that sneak attack from this BIPOC group, that it makes sense for them not to vote against our policies because they will be voting against themselves. But I think the conversation of the lengths people will go to assimilate was missed. That was the fault.
But also, I think, so sorry, one second, Ramsey. I think all the people that you mentioned, it's almost like you're I know you're not necessarily saying this when saying where you are, right? The Arabs, the Blacks, the Puerto Ricans, the Latinos, whatever it may be, right? As well as them just being what they are in terms of their race, they're working class people. And the Democrats failed to address the concerns of working class people. I don't think it's to do with them just being Arab, to do them being Black, whatever it may be. It's the fact that as working class people, you want to feel like you have a chance. And in America, the vibe I get from America is, especially when you talk about it being the land of the, what's it called? The land of the hopeful, the dreams, or whatever it may be, right? Where you can go there and be a nothing, but end up being a something. Like, the working class people want to feel like that's a possibility. And you're not talking to them. You're just talking about immigrants and how we need to protect them. The same immigrants that at least they believe, even if it's not true, the same immigrants they believe will come in and make life harder for them because wages will drop. Talk to them.
Can I challenge you to do something?
Yes.
Because I think this is a habit that everybody on both sides needs to do. I've seen it in the chat. I've seen it as we talk. I've also seen it just in general around this political conversations. Mm-hmm. Can we back up what we're saying by how that other party didn't do it? Like, you're saying that they didn't discuss, or Kamala did not discuss things that impact the working class.
Yeah.
Can you curtail that by saying how Trump did?
See, okay.
Like, we don't do that enough.
No, I'll tell you. Because he spoke about the economy. And people, again, I always say this, a hungry man's an angry man. Like, deal with the fact that the man needs to recognize his money is not stretching as far as it did before. He kept talking about the economy. He kept talking about immigration. And these two, in a particular context, are linked. And the working class person is recognizing this, or at least he believes, or she believes, that this is the case. More immigrants, my wages will go down. More immigrants, more competition. More immigrants, what's going on for my rights as an American person? The economy in the last 4 years hasn't been that great. Cost of living crisis, X, Y, and Z. That's what it is. And so if you're not spending all your time, or the majority of the time, talking about that as a Democrat and telling them, listen, your fears, I'm going to alleviate this by doing X, Y, and Z. But instead, you're talking about, and she should obviously speak about women's abortion rights and things of that nature. But when you're calling him a fascist and those other things that the majority of people don't care about, when you're not addressing the concerns of Arabs and Muslims as a whole, and like we can see that you're just pandering to Israel back there in Gaza, you're going to have an issue. You need to focus on the things that people care about, not what you care about, because it's not you voting alone. It's the 300 million people in America voting. And I think Trump just knew that because, again, he's a businessman. He focuses on the customer. He doesn't care. The customer is right in America. You guys know this better than anywhere in the world. Capitalist society. People have a propensity to go towards the capitalist than it is the socialist. They don't necessarily want handouts in America. They want the opportunity to become great. And Trump kind of just embodies that somehow. You see what I'm saying? Like, as much as many black men came out to vote for the Democrats, right? Many voted for Trump more than ever. more black people were voting for Trump. What does that say to you? You know what I'm saying?
When? This year?
Yeah.
You didn't read the stats.
Okay, cool. I'll pull it up now.
Yeah.
More black people voted for Trump this year?
Not than the Democrats. As in more than a time in history where black people voted a Republican. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Not more than black people voted for the Democrats. So there hasn't been a time, right, where as many black people voted for Republicans. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
The stats do suggest that, by the way.
Suggest what?
What you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
You said that to me.
Second?
The way it's what you said the first time. You clarified it now.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Previously, the stats weren't showing that.
I have another clip to show.
You've got them today, don't you?
One quick last thing before I go. Sorry, Brent.
Go on.
Yeah, so I just want to expand on the point that Stacey said earlier. And also what Iman just said, the Arab and Muslim majority in America didn't vote for Kamala, and I feel like they done that out of spite because she wasn't standing up for Palestine. I don't understand why they done that. I saw Arabs and I saw Muslims celebrate Trump's win, and it was the dumbest shit I've ever seen because obviously their main motivation was to see the war stop, right?
Yes, exactly.
Win the battle, lose the war.
This guy just said he said, yo, make it a car park, finish the job to Netanyahu. As soon as Trump won, Netanyahu was like, all right, listen, we're gassed, we're happy, congratulations. Ben Gvir, who's a monster, also celebrated it. So I remember I was talking to one American Arab, and I messaged them and I said, what's going on? Like, what are you lot doing? What's happening? She said personally she didn't see any Arabs, but when I was looking in Michigan, when I saw Dearborn, I saw all these clips of all these Arabs just celebrating Trump's win. They voted out of spite and they're stupid, and that's what I.
But Ramsey, this is what I was saying to you earlier. Don't just render people stupid, right? And leave it as that. As much as Trump is more pro-Israel, right? There's two things, right? Maybe more. Trump has got some sort of something against Netanyahu, right? Because Netanyahu backed Biden in the last something, right? So you know how Trump can sometimes hold a grudge. So that might be there as well. So maybe they're thinking, you know what, there might be some hope. But also, Trump is an isolated sort of guy. He cares about America first, always. And yes, he pushes for Israel, but at the same time, he doesn't want war. He doesn't want America wasting money on wars. Even if he supports Israel, he wants Israel to wrap it up. And Arabs, Muslims don't want more death for Palestinians. Wrap up the war. He gave the Abraham Accords. Remember, he gave the Abraham Accords. So he's going to push. He's going to try and get the people in that particular area to come together and sort something out. You know what I'm saying? Even if he supports Israel, even if he's going to favor them in some sort of deal, he wants it sorted. People don't want to die.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday week, so I'm not going to fully disrespect you. But what you just said is easily one of the silliest things you've said so far.
All right, talk to me. Tell me why.
You just said right now, and especially as Esther said, you're a critical thinker. You have just said to me that they voted based on speculation. You said that they're going to vote for Trump because he may have a vendetta against Netanyahu, and he may want the war to end. I just told you, Trump said if he was in power, he would tell them to finish the job.
Yes.
You are giving me something that's speculation. I am giving you something that is fact. Okay. They are stupid. They are dumb. Okay. They are narrow. They're short-sighted, which in turn makes them stupid.
Okay, so let me say this to you. Do you feel like Trump will support Israel to get the job done in the way you think he will?
100%, because they're AIPAC.
Okay, so you believe in the next 1 or 2 years, Israel is going to basically annihilate all of Gaza under Trump's watch?
I think it's going to get exponentially worse.
That's what you think?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. We'll see. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hopefully, God, inshallah, it doesn't. But with everything that I've seen from this man, I can only see it getting worse.
No, it's what you've heard from this man. So you have to
No,
remember,
it's
it's what you've heard. So this is the reality. Trump said a lot of things, and yes, sometimes he gets what he wants, but a lot of time he doesn't, right? And I don't necessarily think. Again, he's pro-Israel. He's made that very, very clear. But I believe he wants to wrap it up. He does not want Americans over there. He does not want American dollars over there. He believes it's a waste of time. He moved the whole Jerusalem to the capital, didn't he? He did the Abraham Accords. He wants things done and dusted. None of this wishy-washy sitting on a fence like Biden and Harris. He doesn't want that. Same thing he said with Putin and Ukraine. I'm going to chat to Putin. Day one is done. That's what he said. He doesn't want to waste money on war. Wars cost money. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
and I think
but
that's what the Arabs.
you're...
That's what I think the Arabs are hearing. They are not. I don't think they're supporting Trump, thinking this guy's going to save Arabs and Muslims and convert. None of that stuff. They just think the people over there that claimed to care. When I say claimed, somewhat claimed, at least they believed would have been best placed to help people like them in the Middle East, haven't done anything. They've allowed Israel to just kill at will. And at least if Trump comes in, there's a potential, right? Because we see no potential with Harris and Biden. At least with Trump, there's potential the killing will stop. I think that's what appealed to them. So it's very easy to just call them stupid. But again, you won't learn from the mistakes if you just think people are stupid. People have their own agendas, their own interests, and that's how people vote. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you automatically think he's doing everything for the betterment of the country and not the betterment of himself?
I don't care. I've said this to you
No,
many
that's
times.
your point. So the points you just said. Hold on, wait, stop.
Yeah, go on.
You just said that he's gonna do some. He doesn't want to spend and waste money, American taxpayers' money on wars because that's not what they want. You keep on bringing up points that are for the betterment of the country.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, why do you think his actions are for the betterment of the country and not the betterment of himself?
Because
when he has shown time and time again that he will more than happy sell out his people for his betterment, for his own betterment.
If America thrives, it's more likely like that him and people like him, business owners, right, capitalists, they will thrive. Hence him bringing in the tariffs. That's what he cares about. He like, no one business can just be the only business that survives. It's not just about Trump. It's about people that think like Trump, who are like Trump. You know what I'm saying? You want fertile ground for businesses to thrive. He's a businessman. He wants more deals. He doesn't see a cap on how much he can earn. He wants more. That's what makes a capitalist thrive. They want more. There's desire there. But when you're just talking about, okay, cool, he just cares about himself. No. Like, he cares about himself, but remember, it involves other things. The ground has to be fertile for himself to thrive. And that means America has to thrive. It's that simple.
I disagree, but I'm gonna let the floor speak. But yeah, we'll speak soon.
All right, so we have Stacey still here. We have Kofi. We have Ed. Who's next up? Good morning, Kofi. All right, cool. Good morning, Ed. Good morning, MTREVK. You could unmute your mic and then speak. I don't know if you have an Android or iPhone, but
Hello?
good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Good
you.
morning. Honestly, I don't know. There's so much that Iman's saying that I don't even really know where to land with this. Like, I just. Can I ask Iman, if you was an American citizen, how would you have voted?
Come on, be bold.
LOL.
Be bold.
There's
Be
the
bold.
answer.
Come on, sir.
What?
Be bold.
I don't understand why you think I struggle with this.
Because you have to think about it.
Because the pause.
No, because I've never. No, because it's because I've never put myself in that position as an American. So I'm thinking about it now, about my interests. So either I'd gone independent or I'd gone with Trump.
So you would have wasted a vote or wasted a vote. Copy.
It wouldn't have been wasted. The winner is the winner.
Okay, child.
You know what I'm
Anybody
saying?
who votes for a Green Party, just throw the ballot away.
No, but we spoke about this before on the show, innit? Like,
Sorry,
I don't think these things
Let's
are
not
wasted.
get drawn into you and Stacey. The guy asked you a question. Maybe he has a back and forth with you.
All right, cool.
Go again. Respond to him, please.
I mean,
I don't know what your name is.
Yeah, what's your name?
Yeah. It's just MTK is fine.
Okay, so big up MTK.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, correct. At least you said it out and out. I guess that means I have to like wrestle with that because when you argue it, it sounds like you just saying that in principle, like Kamala should have won or was a better candidate, but there's reasons why strategically Trump won, and I just don't think that that's the case. I mean, I guess on that point it would be this idea of, and you're alluding to this, and also people who are Kamala supporters are alluding to this, and I just fundamentally just so disagree with it, which is the idea that you can be the supposedly left-leaning party, do diet conservatism, and then go against the actual full-fat cola diet conservatives and win. Like, it's the same thing that we've seen here with Labour. It's just like you want to be like a half-hearted Tory, and like somehow that's supposed to like, you know, invigorate the base, like your voter base. And it's just like, that's not it. The only reason why Labour even won is because like 14 years of Tory leadership, like basically like just rinsed the whole country. And after 14 years, they got flogged so much that we finally were like, you know what, anything else. It's not because Keir Starmer is like some don that really managed to figure things out. Everyone knew it. In fact, reform numbers went up, and anyone that didn't go to Labour went to reform. So it's like this idea that like, oh yeah, what you need to do is just copulate to like, you know, center politics or like center right. It's like that's so much cap, and I'm seeing people on the left and right say it, and it's just like I just think it's like so much air. I don't know why anyone would even believe to that. Like there's some points I agree with you in what your analysis of the Kamala's downfalls are, I suppose. Like there's a few things you said. Like I think for me mainly, I think that like from what I understand, she did the diet Tory thing, and her voter base fell out. She might have got like a few more like middle class whites to come out and vote for her, but the fundamental people who cared about leftist politics, they were all like, I'm staying home. They're like, I'm not coming out. And hence that 15 million gap, and that's it. So she just took her eye off the main pride. So that's what that was. But like, and also that you were talking about the on the center right sort of politics stuff and like what they might care for, stuff like the border. She was. It's not like she was saying let them all in and whatever. Like she was playing to like Republican vibes on like we're strong on the border. She was doing that. Like if she was not doing anything other than that, don't get that twisted.
Not enough though.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Not enough.
And again, you're gonna say not enough, but I just think that's full cap in sense of like that's just not good strategy. Like to play to that. No one's gonna vote for the diet when they can get the full fat cola. They're not doing that. There's absolutely no point to do that. So and even if it did work, let's say if it did work, like if you have leftist politics, why on earth would you want that? Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's me on that.
But that's the thing though. Do you just want to stay true to being a leftist, or do you want to win? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the agenda here? Are you there to compete, or are you there to win?
Yeah, you can win, but I don't think that the only way that she could have won is to play to the center right. I just don't think that. I just told you, her voter base fell out. They stayed at home. You're like, I ain't coming out for this. 15 million people did that. They said, I ain't stepping up for this. So she didn't, but that's not because she was too leftist.
But maybe it is. Because what, like, how do you know that the people that stayed at home didn't like why didn't they vote? Why didn't they come out?
Again, I think that's where part of where some of what you're saying is true, in a sense of like she's not talking to the material woes of the average person.
Exactly.
Like again, people are worried about their fundamental life, and she didn't speak hope into that. She wanted to run on like, you know, defending democracy and like, oh yeah, we're the moral party, and like you want, you know, don't vote for that guy because he's a rapist, and which he is, by the way. Like he's a bad guy, but like that's just not enough to. We did that here as well. We pointed at the other party. Well, I don't. You're obviously a Trumpian, so I'm a I voted Labour or whatever. I didn't vote Labour. What am I talking about? I voted Green Party. But I'm on the left side of the aisle, and like, yeah, we voted. We looked at the other party, and we were like, yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong, and so all this and that, and that didn't work for 14 years. That didn't work for 14 years. It's only that until people got flogged so much that the material lives were that bad that they were like, you know, actually anything else other than this.
Exactly.
But it doesn't work into you know, it doesn't work for a campaign to just be like, all right, I'm just not them. And bring nothing to the table. That's just not enough.
And that's exactly what I was saying.
But does it work though if she panders to the other side or to this audience that she likes to reach, and then she goes in power and doesn't do what it is
Sorry, you broke up.
that they said?
Say again?
So does it matter if she say she did pander to the right, but then she got in power and then didn't do what it was that she promised? Wouldn't she then be seen as a failed president? Because essentially what it is that you said, you didn't deliver on it.
I think for that, so you're saying that she fakes like Republican vibes and came out and was a leftist?
No, I'm saying what if she did that? Because if we're saying that she should have known what people, the Trump supporters, for example, or people that voted Trump, she should have known what it was that they wanted, and she should have essentially pandered to that of when you said bring up the whole Obama deported these people and this.
Yeah.
So let's just say that she says the right things that they want to hear. However, she gets in power though, but that's not her true beliefs and that's not the beliefs of her party. So the way I see is that she represented the beliefs of her party, but obviously that was not going to get them to win, right? Because as we've said, society is becoming more right centered, whatever the case is. So even if she did do that, she goes in power and she doesn't deliver on what it was that these promises she made, she was seen as a failed president.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So if it's the mindset of do whatever it is that you have to win, but that will also not be in her favor when it is that her presidency is being criticized then. Because when Labour did that, when they said, oh, because we're not going to increase your taxes, we're not going to do this, we're going to do that, but then they're criticized now for it. So
I think it's more so she's more so saying things that I think she thinks some people on the left want to hear instead of being true to what it is. So to bring up the point that you mentioned about the immigration thing, like the right want to hear that you've got a real hold on immigration, that you're getting rid of people who should not be here illegally, right? The reality is their side did it very well. Biden got rid of 2 million. Obama got rid of 3 million. They got more. They got rid of more people, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, than Trump did.
Yeah.
Go with that. That's what I'm saying. So that's still your reality. But go with that. Don't think that minorities just want immigrants in. And I think this is the mistake. Like, it happens in this country too. And when we spoke about this on the show a few times, right? You get people in the chat saying, oh yeah, but you're forgetting about when your parents came as immigrants. Absolutely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is people don't really mind, right? Again, generally, don't mind if immigrants come to the country. They just mind if they come here illegally. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in America, make it clear that America was built by immigrants. If not for the labor that comes from immigrants, America's done out here. It's a fact, right? Go with that, but say that the people who come in illegally, we still have to have laws. We still have to have border security. And this is why in the last X, Y, Z years, we got rid of X, Y, and Z.
I think a campaign
is that supposed to appeal to conservative?
Yes, it will. Because people, again, you know what? I'll read something to you. Because obviously you lot said to me, you don't want me to just say something, have facts. So when it came to the question of border security and immigration, this is how voters graded Trump and Harris on issues, right? And the characteristics and how well they believe they would do in these particular areas, right? Border security and immigration. 30% thought Kamala Harris was better than Trump when it came to border security and immigration. Almost 60% believed Trump would handle it better. When it came to inflation and cost of living, 40% believed that Harris was better. 55% believed Trump would do better. When it came to the economy, about 42% believed Harris would do better. Trump, again, 53%. In the top three things that people cared about, they believed he would be more competent in terms of getting it done. And I'm simply saying to you, focus on the top three, focus on the things that people care about and hammer home that you will do a better job than Trump. And when it comes to immigration, you have got the stats to prove that you would. Say that instead of calling him Hitler. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Quick.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
No, apologies. Yeah, sorry. You just said that the Democrats actually got had better border security in terms of deportation, and you got the figures to back that up. Also, on the economy,
yeah,
the economy actually improved. I think unemployment went down, real wages went up as well. But Eman, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know why it doesn't matter?
Tell me.
Because this is really basic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people like Black Rob will say, no, it's not true, but this is a fact. So if we went back to 2012, when Obama won his second term,
yes,
the people, those radio hosts like Glenn, I think it's Glenn Beck and all these type of people, they'll generally stunned that a black man can win a second vote. And then they were thinking, no, this country of ours is going to be taken over. And that's when the rhetoric started. And you heard these things about the great white replacement. And I've seen a clip of this guy. He's a right-wing guy. He's having food with just an Asian guy. And he said, and the Asian guy goes, oh, why do you support Donald Trump? Well, I don't really get it. And he goes, I don't really care about his policies. I care about what he represents. He represents me.
We played it.
You played it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He represents me. He represents what we stand for. What we stand for is that we don't want our people to be taken over. Yeah? And that's why they go strong on the abortion rights. If abortion was just with people of colour, these people wouldn't care. They say, have your abortions.
Yeah.
But because abortion affects liberal white women, or just white women in general, and these white women keep having abortions, what does it mean? No white kids grow up.
Yeah.
And they slowly be taken over. Yeah. So, as you said, with all their policies, Kamala could have said all of that. Yeah. They would not care. Because the reason I say this is because Joe Biden, 4 years ago, has similar policies to Kamala, right?
Yes.
He beat Donald Trump.
Yes.
Marx was saying yesterday, but Donald Trump won because he was experienced. Donald Trump was even more experienced 4 years ago. Joe Biden beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah? Same policies, similar policies on Palestine, Israel, whatnot. It doesn't matter.
The problem
they're
is
going to see
Palestine and Israel hadn't started just yet, to be honest.
Oh yeah, but they're still okay. It hasn't started properly, but it's always been there. The problem is, they see a black woman. They say a black woman as prime president, even before a white woman. There's no way, especially after they had a black man as president. They're going to double down, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Honestly, I genuinely believe if they put up what's his name, Josh Shapiro or Gavin Newsom, they would have had a better chance. As Esther said, Kamala has all the credentials to do it. She's gone through all sorts of government, similar to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden won, even though he was older than Donald Trump. So I know people want to say, they could have done more here, they could have done more there, and etc. Me personally, I don't think it would have mattered. Yeah, they're emboldened to their beliefs. Like, no, we're not going to be taken over. We do not care. This man, I don't care about what's coming in our pockets, because even Trump's got these policies like Trump tariffs, which will affect them. They don't care what comes in their pockets. All we care about is what he represents and what he says, and that's it. That's my opinion personally.
Eman, can I quickly say my 2 points too? I agree with most of what you're saying. I don't remember everything because it was a lot, but I do agree with most of what you're saying, Kofi. I think the last set of stats that you pulled out, I think we also have to do a good job. And this is not me charging you to do it. I think this is something that everyone should learn to do when they read stats. What are the demographics of those stats? Not demographics as in black versus white versus people of color, that nonsense term, but like, what percentage of those people are educated? And I beg that question not because the uneducated shouldn't have a leg in this race, but the average American actually doesn't know how politics works, government works, all of these things work.
Yeah.
They don't know that when you say things like, in Trump's economy, Trump's inherited economy, or the one that he actually impacted, the one that Biden's trying to fix. Like, people don't know the inner workings of these things, which is why I think we often get into this, like, rabbit hole of conversations where we point fingers at different parties when it's like people don't know. And that's why I told you earlier, it's important that we always curb our comments with the facts to back it up. But this is both sides.
Yeah.
When people say Trump, shit, and you can really put anything in here. Trump, when Trump was in office, we had more unemployment was at its lowest. Why? Like, what policies did he enact what was the cause to that effect? And is that credited to him or is that credited to his predecessor? And I think that if we did more of that, we would be able to give a lot more. We would have a lot more to say about each party's credentials, not just Trump's, but Kamala's. And I think we don't spend enough time on both sides talking about this because we bicker so much about the top line things on both sides.
So with you remember, like America, they've handled inflation probably like one of the best in terms of just one of the best worldwide, right? Do you agree with that? In terms of how they brought inflation down, America has, in the last 4 years, America has brought inflation down, probably at one of the best rates worldwide. But
I'm not aware of the rest of the world to compare, but
okay,
I'm gonna trust your research.
Okay, cool. Do you credit that? Do you give any of that credit to Trump?
Currently? I'm sure he probably had something to do with it. I don't think he deserves all the credit that he deserves. I think, and that's something that I think both sides could do better of too. Like, do I think Trump has more cons than pros? Yes, but I think the same way there's no flawless president, there's no president that is 100% flaws. It would be remiss for me to say that Trump didn't do anything remotely positive for anything. I don't think so.
Good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Ed. You want to jump on the mic? Share your thoughts?
Like the video, guys.
Because you
come on, my boy.
Come on. In the cold, outside of my
Professor's
here. I just needed to throw my 2 cents in.
You get my nerves in there.
It's been a while.
Good morning, sire.
Big up.
Good morning. Look, I don't have I haven't kept an eye on this as closely as maybe I should. And I'm not American, so actually, just like everybody, I'm watching from the sidelines.
I'm sorry, hold on. Every time I hear one.
Good morning. Pardon me.
I'm thrown off. I'm actually thrown off. He sounds someone I should respect. That's what I'm saying. What is respectful human being? Then he goes in chat doing all the things he does. I can't believe it. Gosh,
you know that's a Trump tactic.
You're doing what Iman said Kamala should have done. Okay. Sorry, as you were saying.
No. All I wanted to say was, just watching it from the outside, it looks like the mistake made was that they allowed Trump to position himself as the anti-establishment, which is crazy because he is a product of the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have the time to put together a proper race. I understand the arguments, but ultimately he has one thing went for him that she didn't. That is, he can tell a time when interest rates were low, fuel duties were non-existent, and look at how wonderful it was when I was president.
Exactly.
Now, that was pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
The world is different. He wouldn't have been able to deal any differently than, say, Uncle Biden did.
Mm-hmm.
The problem he's got now is he's got to follow through with some of his tariff promises. But at least people feel like he speaks for them. And I think this whole thing about polarity where people are either left or right, I think that's the problem here, because most people aren't left or right.
Exactly.
Most people are somewhere in the middle. Actually, most people are a little bit educated and a little bit read, but maybe not necessarily in the right, the broader scope. So if you say who owns the media, well, I can throw that back at the Trumpians and say, well, X, who owns that? The single biggest social media platform. And we know what the algorithms on that one is doing. So it's more nuanced. I don't think it's just about right and left or progressive, Democrat and Republican. I think it's speaking to somebody in the middle. I had an objection to something that Ramsey said, which is about Arabs and Muslim voters and the Gaza and what's happening in the Middle East. They're pretty much the same in their policies towards Israel. So if you are faced with that as a choice, bad or worse, or bad and bad, and they're both the same, shouldn't we then go for the other thing that separates the two, i.e. this perceived better off economic output for your wallet? Because people do tend to vote with their wallets. We can try and hide the sun with our thumb. Yep. That's the reality, though. So if he can harp on and say, look at what I did when I was president, and she doesn't have a comeback to bring those voters back on side, then of course she's onto a loser. And you can't begrudge those people that. They live that reality every day. They don't have a welfare system like we have here that they can fall back on and take that gamble that we might on a Labour every now and then. So I think the thing that I have seen that has been perpetuated across the so picking over the bones of what was happened on Tuesday night is that every commentator, every pundit pretty much got it wrong. Why? Because he swept everything. The popular vote, the Latino vote that was ardent Democrat, the many of the black caucuses who still came out for Kamala and the black population, they weren't enough. He gained and narrowed the margin in every single demographic. Now, I haven't gone into a lot of detail to see if this is borne out with latest updates, but he talked to those people in the middle where they thought everything is bad. Let me go with nostalgia and hope for the best, rather than take a punt on somebody who didn't have enough time necessarily to put together a credible campaign. And that's what you end up with. A lot of these people, I think, aren't ardent Trump supporters. I think that they had to go for something and they kind of hope for the best and went with where everything is equal. Well, at least we knew what it was like under him. We don't really know what it's going to be like under her. And I think there's a lot of people who fall in that category that are just completely missed by the debate.
Yeah, I agree.
Bon, you have such a nice voice.
Like, you can't trick me. you can't trick me.
But he does. I was actually being honest. That had nothing to do with any of my opinions. But you actually really do have a nice voice. Do you happen to be Ugandan?
Ooh, close.
Where are you from?
Gotta go up a bit more.
Tell him.
I'm Eritrean. I'm East African.
Oh, wow. Period. I know it was East Africa. I just didn't know where. You have a very nice voice. I digress.
East Africa with the behavior of a Nigerian man.
Right, I'm going back to the office because it's cold. Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Take care, everyone.
All right.
No moment of silence.
Ed.
We don't know when we'll see him again.
We don't.
Follow that, baby boy.
You're dumb.
This guy.
Ed. Share your thoughts, bro. Sorry.
Yo. That's good, man.
Tomatoes!
That's why I ain't got as possible as my brother one, you know. Sorry I can't give you the
Come on, Ed. I believe in you, Ed.
Lift your spirits, son.
You say that? Yeah.
One is a fascist. You can do it. He's a champion. You can do it, Ed. That's all that matters.
Do you know how childish you two are?
This laugh is so wholesome.
Oh, man. Sorry, Ed. Take the floor.
Hey, you put me off the bunnies and this is rough, man.
Because that's what I would have changed it, yeah?
I'm getting tomatoes in the chat and all that. Anyway, what I was going to say is just a few points on the man that obviously in just in terms of that perception and that, innit? So like the perception of Trump being like this, you know, guy who's anti-war when he's shown in his previous regime that he's not anti-war. He was anti being a part of like NATO and some of these, you know, these quote unquote things that are deemed pro-war, you know. But in terms of what he was actually doing, so stuff like directly being involved in funding and sending military to work alongside Saudi and Arabs and United Arab Emirates and stuff in Yemen. And then when Congress came and was like, hey, we don't want to do this, he vetoed it and said, no, we're still doing it. You know, stuff like that. That don't get looked on. When you look at in terms of even stuff like you talk about him economically, one of the big things he pushed when he was, you know, trying to, you know, when he was getting elected the first time around was obviously how his goal was to obviously quote unquote clear the deficit, clear the debt, all that stuff in his time there. In reality, I think the United States debt went up by like 40% or something under his reign. You know, even like on like year by year averages, you know, in terms of his like actual reign. Like people act like inflation still went up under his reign. Like it's not like it went. People act like it's a thing that somehow this guy squashed everything. It's like no. And obviously, was it going to go up as high as it's gone up under Biden? Of course not. I'm not saying anything does, but acting like that's the perception in my eyes of it. Like it's that thing of like for some reason, obviously his voice has been very loud from day one. Like his voice has been loud for over a decade now. So and it's only gotten louder. And I think there's almost a level of the rewriting of history in it. You know what I mean? Like the way we perceive things or whatnot has been sort of tweaked in my mind. Where it's like we wanted, like not we as me, but a certain part of the American, let's call it the swing voters that they call them, where they're like, they're 50-50, they're on the fence, or whatever. Like I feel like that large amount of people gets swung by the perception of things, and like the perception of things is even on the other side of say what Kamala's done. He's talking the same side, the perception of what Kamala's done. Like there's so much rhetoric and things that she's allegedly put her name to and been a part of, and all these things where the perception is she's XYZ and because of, I say, both her political upbringing in terms of how she presents herself, and also in terms of the Democrats in just giving themselves only 3 months to turn this all around in the first place. Like you're never gonna get that same level of ability to switch up the perception, and then because like even stuff like me and Demi was talking about in the chat, like there's stuff that you're saying that she didn't talk about in terms of the policies for the working class people and stuff. Like she was talking about it, but the problem is, and again, when the chasm is so that freaking the shadow that Trump casts over you is so large, like no one's hearing it. Like you're not going to hear, and like I said, in such a short space of time as well, you're not going to hear it. Like Trump's been shouting about what he's been shouting about for 4 years now. Kamala's whispering about what she's doing in the space of 3 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so that's what I'm talking about. And that's the perception. So I feel like it was always going to be a tough W for her, in terms of tough for her to get a W in terms of just purely the shadow that it cast, the shadow that Trump cast over her, because the shadow that Trump cast over her, and then obviously the fact that she herself doesn't, and the Democrats as a whole sort of fumbled from day one in terms of just not being able to look to not see the bigger picture in terms of how they're being perceived and how they can address the perceptions of themselves, as opposed to they spent all this a lot of the time just trying to shout down Trump.
You see, what I'm saying? I hear what you're saying, yeah. And this is something I wanted to say when Coffee called as well. By the way, thanks for your call. Thanks everybody for calling in as well. I hear what you're saying, but when it comes to the whole, because I know you didn't say this, but Coffee said this, and a couple people are saying this in the chat about her being a woman, her being black, and all that sort of stuff. Yes, that may have been a factor, but a big factor, I don't think it was the biggest thing at all. I think it is based on what you were saying as well, Ed, right? Policies, her not, driving home certain things and just instilling confidence in the people, in her being at the top of the helm, right? Another thing is this, right? Like I think people are forgetting how good at speaking people on the left have been historically. You know what I'm saying? Like Obama was somebody, any environment, the man could talk. The man could get himself out of any situation. You wouldn't even think the situation was even planned to be a sticky one because of how smooth he was. And just like the person before him, Clinton as well. And I think that the skill set that comes with being an orator, right, and just exuding that confidence and having an answer for anything that's thrown your way, I don't think people saw that in Kamala Harris. And I say that why? Because, I've seen her in interviews, but also because we saw stuff about her dodging certain interviews, saying, I don't want to sit down with this particular person because of so-and-so. We saw, or at least heard stuff about her having the thing in her ear and getting help from backstage and all that sort of stuff. Stuff that you would not have seen with previous Democrat candidates. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that she instilled that confidence in people. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be a talker, man. And Trump has got a weird style, but it works.
Here, a quick question.
Yeah.
What is an example of a woman that you find to be a good orator? And I'm not trying to bring the gender thing.
Obama.
I'm just like,
Michelle Obama. Yeah, sorry. Michelle Obama.
Okay.
And this is what I was saying yesterday. who do I think is a good orator? A woman.
Oh, okay.
She's perfect.
Do you have any political or political examples of this? I just don't want to use Michelle because I accept it. Like I think that's a good example, but we don't see her.
Kemi chats rubbish, but she is a good
I'll go
orator.
Pelosi. If you're gonna say that, if you're gonna talk about women, I'd say Pelosi is quite a good speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think people buy into that. You know what I mean? And and even Brent just said now, like Kemi, she might be rubbish and stuff, but in terms of speaking, look how she hotted them up yesterday at the PMQs. Like that woman will bring you to task, and this is why I was again saying it's good to have her as an opposition leader. She will make, at very least, if this is the only thing she does, she will make Labour have to, you know what I mean, like take accountability for certain things and make them hold up the mirror to them and make them do things, because she will embarrass them. You know what I'm saying? And you need that as a leader. And I just didn't get it with Kamala Harris, and I think a lot of Americans didn't get that either, man.
I think.
Oh, and Thatcher as well.
Before I bow out.
Sorry, go on.
Kamala can't run again. Let's establish that.
Yeah, I said that.
It's a big grab. She's tried twice. I think that we don't need to learn a third time that America doesn't want to see a woman in the presidency. At least not while I'm young. I don't think we need to try this again for a while. I think there's too much at stake for experimentation. I think the next candidate that comes the horizon, the Democrats need to play it safe. Somebody who has all of the liberal ideals, but the persona needs to very much be in line with what people are used to and are willing to accept. I'm never going to go back and say that Kamala wasn't the best choice. I think she was. We haven't had since the 1800s anyone challenge the spot of nominee in the current sitting party if the president or the vice is running. That would have opened a can of worms that we would have been even less prepared for. Like, how do you sit up here and run on a platform that you don't feel as though the current sitting president or vice president is not capable of continuing that mission, and so much so that you challenge them? That would have set us up for a lot worse. So I think that conversation, even though we prolong it, honestly should have been a lot shorter. But again, like 2028, sorry, before I even get there, I think what this election in hindsight is conservatives, especially white people, white women, white men, people who want to be white women and men, seeing this as their opportunity to change the trajectory that that was on its way to their detriment, and pivoting it back to their favor in all forms of government: the House, the Senate, the presidential seat, the Supreme Court of the United States. And round of applause, because they did the damn thing. We are in trouble. And yeah, I don't know how we're going to go about rectifying it. As a Black person, a Black woman, eek to the POC word, but people of color, I'm not an ally with that word, but if you want to group us in, I guess we're in trouble. And it's going to take some extreme efforts, not just to combat it, but to dismantle what's to come.
Thank you very much, Stacey. Before we move on to the next headlines, there's a question. I want you to attempt that name.
Oh, I can't do that, boy.
All right, then.
Padnop Karfnop.
Why did you do that?
Because that's what I think it would be.
He says, a question for the participants of the stream. I don't know what we're doing here. A question for the participants. Some Indian guy must have tweeted, so while I'm here, he tweeted, Kamala is not my president. And then someone's like, why are you a Trump supporter? He said, no, I'm in India. So he says, a question for the participants of the stream. Earlier, Trump said that he would solve the Ukrainian crisis in 24 hours. How can he implement it? Just you. Trump looking ass. Looking a little orange over there.
I think he might threaten NATO to be like, listen, if you lot... Again, this is another thing as well.
Basically, yeah.
It's another thing as well. Like the Europeans are not really happy about this, isn't it? Because of the fact that this man don't like the fact that the Europeans are not pulling their weight. They're not contributing as much money to NATO as he is. So he's already threatened and said, guys, if you don't fix up, I'm going to pull us out of this bollocks, right? So I think that'll be part of it. He'll also tell Ukraine to chill. He's going to simply say, I'm not going to give you any more money. Let's stop the killing. And I think he'll say the same thing to Putin. Putin don't really want the war. And Putin will be happy where it is because he's already taken some of the land. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll just say, Putin, chill. Ukraine ain't giving you no peace. I think that's basically how he's going to do it. I know I've oversimplified it, but I think essentially that's what it will come down to. Because Ukraine need money. Without the money from America, they're done out here. And Putin, again, he doesn't want the war. He just doesn't want NATO's forces on his bloody border. He doesn't want it, man. And he told you this from bloody 2014. Stop doing this. You lot didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? So I think Trump will say, look, we ain't got no business over there anyway, so let's just chill, save money.
All right, then. Last word, Stacey?
Nah, I think I did okay.
You did.
I hope we're not talking about this tomorrow, y'all.
Girl.
Please, we need something lighthearted. Can we do? Have you seen that post on the Shade Room where it's like, now that the election's over, back to arguing about 50-50? We need a 50-50 ass topic.
Oh, Stacey, don't worry, I've got something for you. Word on road.
We need a nice little gender war.
I'm bringing it back word on road, girl. Don't you worry.
Right.
Don't you worry.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
babes.
you.
Okay.
All right.
Is anyone else good? What?
All right,
You're
people.
very cheeky. I hope you read all of them at 10:30. We're sitting here looking at each other today.
Run through the rest of the headlines, please, sir.
All right. I was going to try my Von voice.
Go and try it, actually.
Former.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
It's not like Queen Elizabeth. Don't ever do that again.
I need more work. Von needs to call up more so I can imitate.
You know
what
that
I'm saying?
damn well that you ask him now, he's not going to.
Well, former Man City defender, in fact, trigger warning, guys. Former Man City defender Benjamin Mendy is entitled to the majority of his unpaid salary from the Premier League club. This is what a judge has ruled. The France international, who was charged with rape and sexual assault in August 2021, took City to an employment tribunal to claim about £11 million before tax in unpaid wages after he was suspended without pay from September 2021 up until he left the club in June 2023. Last year, Mendy was cleared of a series of rape and attempted rape charges. The judge, Joanne Dunlop, ruled that City was entitled to withhold Mendy's salary for the periods that he was in custody, which amounted to 5 of the 22 months that he was not paid. And in a statement on social media, Mendy said, I'm delighted with the decision and sincerely hope that the club will now do the honourable thing and pay the outstanding amounts, as well as the other amounts promised to me under the contract, without further delay, so I can put this difficult part of my life behind me. Next headline, and hundreds of thousands of Guyana citizens living at home and abroad will receive a payout, guys. If you're Guyanese, receive your payout, right, of around £370 each after the country announced that it was distributing its mind-boggling oil wealth. The grant of $100,000 Guyanese dollars will be available to any citizen of the South American country over the age of 18 with a valid passport or ID card. Guyanese citizens who normally live abroad will be eligible but must be in Guyana to collect the payment. With an in-country population of 800,000 and a diaspora of some 400,000, the current arrangement is expected to result in a huge payout, but the country has been enjoying historic growth in its economy, which has tripled in size since it started crude oil extraction in late 2019. Guyana's GDP was for many years one of the lowest in the region, but after the 2015 discovery of a massive oil reserve off the country's Atlantic coast, it has become one of the fastest growing economies in the world. If you haven't lived through what we've lived through, you won't understand what this mind-boggling growth means. This is what the Guyanese media analyst and entrepreneur Alex Graham said. He also went on to say, while it is true that we still need time for this growth to translate to quality of life, we are starting to see economic growth turned into infrastructure, projects, and systems that will allow citizens to enjoy an increasingly higher quality of life. Elon Musk's mum is in the news.
Cheeky though, just on the last headline there. The people who aren't currently in Guyana, if they want to collect it, need to buy a ticket. Come,
go and collect the money.
Patronize the island and then leave.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Elon Musk's mother, May Musk, has been accused of racism over a tweet that she shared ahead of the presidential election. The 76-year-old author took to X on Tuesday to criticize an article that was allegedly in the works from the New York Times. In a since deleted post, which has been reshared on X, May made comments about tech reporter Ryan Mack's ethnicity while alleging that he was still writing a hit piece about Elon. So this is what she said. She said, I've heard there's going to be an Elon hit piece by R. Mac 18 in the New York Times tomorrow. Sadly, Ryan is an American Vietnamese reporter. My book is a bestseller in Vietnam. I don't think my readers will believe the article if it's hateful and or dishonest. Let's see. On X, she was met with immense scrutiny for her post and her decision to mention his ethnicity. Next headline, and a new 620-seat theatre is to open at Westfield, London in Shepherd's Bush next autumn. Named Capitol Theatre, the venue will be set over 35,000 square feet and located at the southeast corner of the shopping centre where a department store, Debenhams, used to be. Plans for the space to be operated by Adam Kenwright in partnership with producer Carl Sido include seating customers in the auditorium, no more than 9 rows from the performance stage area. The theatre will launch next October with its first production of the worldwide smash hit Dirty Dancing. Next headline, and an NHS... Trigger warning. This is to say trigger warning here, guys. An NHS nurse turned social media influencer has won an unfair dismissal claim after she was suspended for more than 2 years when a patient claimed that she was pregnant with his child. Jessica Thorpe was placed under investigation by Hospital Trust in April 2020, 3 days after a patient claimed that he was having an inappropriate relationship with her. The patient, named only as Patient X for legal reasons, was at the time in a secure facility for men who have come into contact with the criminal justice system. He died in December of that year. Ms. Thorpe then had to endure a series of extensions to her suspension. But she quit a month after she was finally told in October 2022 that she could return to work. The trust tried to argue that the real reason for her quitting was so that she could continue to pursue her career online.
No, it's because you embarrassed me.
Well, this is what they're saying. So that she can continue to pursue her career online, where she had set up Instagram and YouTube accounts, which was earning her almost $20,000 a year. So although an employment judge remarked about the oddity or the timing of her resignation, it ruled in her favour, saying that there was an enormous period in which she was suspended from work. And the panel ruled that there was no conclusive evidence to uphold the allegation. And our last headline, I think this is a big trigger warning. Well, not a big one, but it will make sense. It's been reported that North Korean soldiers who have been deployed to Russia, I remember I spoke about them last week, are gorging on pornography after being given unfiltered access to the internet for the first time.
Well, it's just they got the freedom to basically not access this stuff. I think that's
mad.
Good. That's good.
It's good?
The fact that not what they've chosen to watch, but that they have access.
They'll be too tired to get on the battle on the front lines, man. The claim comes from Gideon Rackman, who is the chief foreign affairs officer at the Financial Times, who said that a usually reliable source shared this news with him. According to Seoul's defense ministry, more than 10,000 North Korean soldiers have arrived in Russia to support the country in its war on Ukraine. And a spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Defense responded after the claims concerning North Korea's soldiers' internet habits gained traction. So Madge Charlie Dates said that he was unable to verify any North Korean internet habits or virtual extracurriculars in Russia. Internet access, for those who don't know, is not widely available in North Korea, with only permitted high-level officials and foreigners granted access to international websites. North Korean citizens have access to Kwangmyong, which is an internet system which is heavily regulated and mostly consists of political propaganda and scientific information. And that's it for the headlines, guys. It's time to pay them bills.
All right, let's get into some word and word. Right, sorry y'all, trigger warning on the first one. It's about Russell Brand. So as a lot of people know, he is currently facing, he's currently being investigated for historic allegations of sexual assault between 2006 and 2013. So there's been 4 women that came forward basically to accuse him of rape, sexual assault and emotional abuse. It's a brief overview on the cases. One of them says that he dated her. He was in a 3-month relationship with her when she was 16 and he was 31, and he was really emotionally abusive and used to call her the child. Another woman says that he raped her in his home in 2012 and that she went to the clinic the same day, like a rape crisis center, and she messaged him to say that she felt taken advantage of, and when a woman says no, no is no, and then he responded saying he was very sorry. another woman says that, he was physically and emotionally abusive towards her. And yeah, another one, the fourth one was when they worked together and stuff like that. So anyway, all of that stuff is what's going on. At the time, he was a radio and TV presenter, I believe, for BBC. But yeah, so basically, was it BBC? I'm sure, but I think it was. Yes, it was BBC. BBC, Radio 2, and Channel 4. That's what he was in. But anyways, so the police have been investigating, and they've now passed on the case to the Crown Prosecution Service. So essentially, they're saying that they need to look into bringing some charges on him. I'm always here for every sexual deviant that gets prosecuted for assaulting people. That's just, you can't just be doing these things and think you're going to get away with it. But yeah, so basically the police said that they had received a number of allegations of sexual offences in London. And then on Saturday, they said that a man in his 40s had been interviewed by officers under caution on 3 separate occasions. And a file of evidence has now been passed to the Crown Prosecution Service for their consideration. They've also said that the women don't know each other. Because people always have something to say, child, when it comes to being rape apologists. Talking about, they probably, no, they said that the women don't know each other, nothing like that. So yeah, it is likely that he will get charges pressed against him, and CPS have confirmed that. One second, let me get what they said. Yeah, they said the CPS have confirmed that they've been handed a file by police, and so that they can consider charges in relation to the allegations of sexual offences. So yeah, man, Russell Brand might go to jail. We don't know. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on the story, obviously, and let you guys know how that develops. Secondly, what is next on my... Oh yeah, so following Megan Thee Stallion's show on Amazon Prime, it is called, what is it called? I always get it wrong. What it's called? It's called... I can't know what it's called. But basically, yeah, she took... Yeah, in her words, that's it. In her words. I was thinking her story in her words. It's in her words. And she obviously addressed the whole Gayle King interview. You kind of see... It's like a video footage of it live at the time, anyway. But yeah, so obviously with that, what's her name? Gayle has been under a lot of backlash. It's so funny. People are very cheeky. People talk about, Gayle is out here asking Megan if she slept with Tory. Meanwhile, she's always sat there denying whether she's been very proud. Oh gosh. Anyway, so Gayle, TMZ caught up with Gayle and she basically addressed it, but in a nice way. It's the least you can do. But anyway, she said it was the first time she was telling her story, and it bothered me that so many people didn't believe her story. That bothered me, so I wanted to get from her firsthand. Why she said what she said to me is really on her. Listen, I still am nuts about her. I think she's been through a lot, and I can't wait to see her documentary. She was under the gun, and I thought undeservedly so. And I have no controversy with Meg. I'm cheering her on, which is nice, man. You know, it's nice. But anyway, that's what's going on. But if you haven't checked out the, what's it called? Documentary, it's very, very interesting. And just gives you a very different perspective to what's going on. DDG. DDG is back to acting a damn fool. Like an actual damn fool. For anyone who doesn't know, DDG is a thorn in my flesh. That's what DDG is. I've talked about DDG more than I've talked about, I don't even know. I'm just over it. I've talked about him more than I've talked about the Kardashians. I've talked about DDG more than I've talked about anybody else. He's back. So basically, DDG is Halle Bailey, who is from the group Chloe and Halle, and also the Little Mermaid actress, also in Grownish. She's a very well accomplished woman. Was with DDG, who is a streamer and a musician of sorts. I don't know if he raps or sings. I think he raps. So he's a rapper of sorts. Anyway, one of the songs he decided to do was to let us know how jealous he was of his girlfriend booking Little Mermaid, and he considered several times sabotaging it and ruining her career. There's love, modern day love. It's great. Anyways, they've got a baby together. Baby's called Halo, right? At the time she was pregnant, she hid the pregnancy because y'all are weird, okay? People are weird. Weird, and I'm learning that more and more every day. Hid the pregnancy or whatever. Obviously, after the baby was born as well, didn't post the baby on socials or whatever. Firstly, this girl was intentional about hiding her pregnancy. DDG is how people knew that she was pregnant. Because he was taking sneak videos and whatnot and then posting it as if he didn't know that her bump was showing. There was that. When it comes to the baby as well, Sneaky We Got a Baby was from this DDG guy anyway. But anyway, she posted a kid on social media here and there. Not all the time, but here and there, wherever. This egg, everyone knows how she's very big on not having a child on social media and whatever else. Do you know what this boy did? He took the baby to Kai Cenat's stream. Remember Kai Cenat is doing the streamathon? Mm-hmm. He took the baby there. You know, when you just like, how dumb are you? So anyway, he took the baby onto Kai Cenat's stream, doing up all special guests and whatnot. Baby just looks like baby just sitting there, minding his business. Mind you though, because obviously, so Hallie's upset that he took the baby there and she tweeted about it, which I'm glad that she did. Because the receipts are here. What she needs to do really and truly is go to court and get the judge to order him to stop posting his child on social media. He posted the child on his streams. He made the baby a meme. Brent just did the meme. Baby look disheveled. They know babies can't hold their necks up. So I always find that so funny. Like, hold your neck up, you silly. But anyway, that's what he did. So she posted and she said, hold on. So she tweeted and said, "Hi everyone, just so you know, I am out of town and I don't approve of my baby being on a stream tonight. I wasn't told or notified and I am extremely upset to have my baby in front of millions of people. I am his mother and protector and saddened that I wasn't notified, especially when I'm out of town." She went on to say that as a woman experiencing severe postpartum, there are boundaries that I wish to be respected. Nobody knows what someone is going through until they snap. Girl, I hope you're going to snap in court. I hope you she needs to go to court about this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I think when it comes to like even posting people on socials and stuff like that, something I'm even mindful of, because basically when you post somebody on your socials, you are exposing them to people that they may not ordinarily be exposed to. So people that follow Hallie would see her post or whatever, and they know she's got a baby. It'd be cute, oh, what a lovely baby. You might have the trolls, of course you might do. However, someone like Kai Cenat, that his stream is millions and millions and millions of people that she don't want to know in her business, and she don't want having access to her kids. Like the other day, I forgot to report about that. Cardi B was going off on what's it called again? On Spaces. Do you know what someone did? What a sick individual did? They created an AI footage of Offset, the child's father, having sex with her child. It's mad. Like, the things people are doing is absolutely crazy. So she's within her rights to want to protect her child from that. And yes, she posts a picture up of the baby, but that's a picture. And that's on her page, and she can do that. But to take the child on a stream without even letting the mum know. The other day as well, Kai's stream, someone called the police there. You know when they do the whole what's it called? I think it's called swatting. I think that's what the kids call it. But basically, when they just call the police there to you make a false something's going on. So the police were there and whatever, and he tweeted that something was going on, and they're just looking at making sure that whatever's been called in isn't actually happening here, whatever. So why would you think, like, you know, when you just have a child with a fool, like, why would you think that taking my child to that kind of place makes sense? Anyway, like I said, I hope she goes to court. Obviously, she's deleted the tweets, but I hope that the screenshots are present and they can present that in court. Because that's absolute nonsense. But the guy's just got, I don't even know what he's got for a brain child. There's just air in there. Just space. It's empty in between his ears. But anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's happening in the world. Everyone else has been very respectful and understanding that the elections are going on and people are sad in America and whatnot. But that's what's happening on this side of town. That's it. That is it. Let's get to People's Journal.
All right, then. Where are you? There we go.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. So there's quite a few things to talk about, but I'm going to get through them quite quickly. First, I want to talk about Trump, right? So I just want to quickly mention, these are some of the 7 things, right, that Trump says he's going to be doing as president, just to kind of condense his campaign for the people out there who don't understand why he won, right? And the things that I guess people are looking for him to kind of implement kind of straight away. He wants to deport undocumented migrants. All those people who came illegally, that's something that he wants to do. Obviously, while he was campaigning, he promised that the biggest mass deportations of undocumented migrants in US history, basically, will be happening under his tenure, right? So this is what he's looking to do. He also pledged to complete the whole building of a wall at the border with Mexico that he started during his first presidency. So that's one thing. So again, people cared about immigration, and that's one of the things that he wants to tackle. Next thing is obviously the economy. We spoke briefly about the tariffs and stuff. Obviously, the tariff thing, for my school of economics anyway, if it matters to anybody, the tariff thing is not something that's going to really be good long term in it for the people within that nation. Because obviously, it will just cost everybody there a bit more money. But again, Trump has an America first approach. So he doesn't want everybody kind of long term suffering because there's no real industries, there's nothing that's built up by Americans. And he feels all of that is going because of how cheap the goods are from China and from other parts of the world. So exit poll data had suggested that the economy was a key issue for voters, like we said many times on the show, and Trump pretty much promised to end inflation, which obviously rose to high levels under Biden. But Biden has brought it down. And I did mention that when Stacey was on the call as well. So he's also promising tax cuts all over the place, which is something that he did during 2017. So he got in 2016, yeah. So in 2017, that's what he did as well. And so, yeah, he also wanted to propose making the tips that a lot of these people get in America tax-free. So again, this is something that spoke to the average.
But they get taxed on tips.
Can you imagine?
And they're fine for the lives to get the tips in the first place.
Can you imagine? So this is something that, again, Trump spoke to the average person about.
First of all, what he needs to do, I don't even care about the tax on tips. What he needs to do is to get them paid enough so I don't have to flip and tip you every second.
100%.
That's what he needs to focus on.
100%.
If he's going to be a good president, that should be the mark of his presidency.
Yeah, that I agree.
Because what the hell?
They should definitely enforce that and make sure people out there, business owners, are paying their staff what they should be paying. It's ridiculous. But yeah, since that's not moving anywhere right now, he at least is saying that he wants to make tips tax-free. He wants to abolish tax on social security payments, and he also wants to cut corporation tax. These are all things that's going to make people smile. Next thing is he wants to cut climate regulations. Again, remember the other day we were talking about net zero. He don't care about net zero. He doesn't care about that at all. He basically sees it as, listen, we need those industries, and this whole net zero thing is something for the Europeans to deal with. For us, no, we need to focus on actually regulating some of these regulations, if I can say so, in that particular way. And pretty much help the American car industry, innit, who basically get attacked all the time, basically. He obviously wants to end the Ukraine war. Again, he said on day one, within 24 hours, I'm ending that conflict. He's going to negotiate a deal. And he pretty much has criticized throughout his whole campaign how Americans Biden have spent tens of billions of dollars on supporting Ukraine in this war against Russia. It's just like the average person really doesn't think Ukraine's going to win this war. So it's like, why are you doing this? Why are more people dying? Why are they allowed to concede more land and waste more money? Let's stop this right now. You know what I'm saying? The abortion thing as well. And this is another thing I felt from the left, they kept trying to say, or at least it seemed this way anyway, that he wanted to just lift basically abortions or whatever and just ban abortions and stuff. But Trump has never said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's pretty much said to some degree, he kind of done this sort of thing, but he's pretty much said he wants to leave it to states to decide on their own laws on abortions.
He had to come out and say that.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. The Roe versus Wade was very public.
Yeah.
And there was a particular ban on abortions for a while, a gag order or something like that. I can't remember, gag ban, I can't remember what it's called, but he had to come out to basically say he wants states to have their own opinion on what should happen in their own.
Exactly. He also said he wants to free some of those convicted that were convicted of their offences during the whole Capitol thing, you know. So people who felt I don't even know what's going on.
So say that again.
He's going to pardon all of them.
He's going to pardon the terrorists.
Allegedly.
All of them.
Some of them, but don't put words in his mouth.
That's your president, boy.
Don't put words in his mouth.
Anyway,
those are the loyals.
He himself is a criminal, so
those are Gestapo.
Criminal recognized for criminal, isn't it?
And this is what he said as well. He vowed to sack within, guess how long? Well, in fact, let me tell you. There's a veteran prosecutor who led 2 criminal investigations against Trump, right?
Yeah, of course, gonna sack them.
How soon?
Listen, I feel like that's his first thing.
Yeah, but give me a time.
I feel like within 24 hours of coming in office, that's his first thing.
Okay, Brent, what do you think?
Or maybe his first hour, in fact. I'm going to go for his first hour.
Okay.
I think he can be efficient.
What's the question?
How soon has he vowed to sack this guy who is responsible for leading 2 criminal investigations against him? His name is Special Counsel
He's already got
Jack
the
Smith.
thing in the works. So
Listen, bro.
He's already made the call.
Bro, they're already sacked.
He has, before he answered Piers Morgan's call yesterday.
They're already sacked. Before Kamala conceded, she was already sacked.
Yeah, well, within 2 seconds. That's what he said.
The guy's a joke, man.
He's going to do that, and then he's going to move on to Ukraine. And then everything else will follow. But yeah, that's what he wants to do, guys. So those are some of the priorities.
What do you feel think about police and them not having to be investigated when they're shooting people down on the roads?
Oh yeah, he said that. He did say that. Yeah, flippantly.
Wonderful.
Mass immunity for the police.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's
so great for
that's
police
not
brutality.
Happen,
police
Oof.
criminality.
It won't
That's
happen.
so great.
It won't happen.
It's a worldwide thing though, because in the UK trying to do that at the moment as well. Wonderful. They really are brothers in arms, aren't they?
Don't worry, I will
great.
be here to reel them all out one at a time.
Good.
Don't worry.
Let's see if it happens, man. But anyway, obviously Trump's won, and the markets have responded to it. So US shares hit record highs on Wall Street, and the dollar basically posted its biggest gain in 8 years because of this. The pound sank 1.16% against the US dollar, which is the lowest level seen since August. US stock indexes soared as well. The dollar was up 1.65% against bare different currencies, the pound, the euro, the yen, everything. Bitcoin as well shot up as well. So the value of Bitcoin jumped over $6,500 to an all-time high as well. Why? Because people know that Trump's stance on crypto is completely different to the stance of Biden and Harris. They want to obviously crack down on crypto firms. Trump is like, nope, I'm going to make the US, basically make the US the Bitcoin superpower of the world. These are his words. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want all the regulation. This guy is a capitalist. Next thing brings us back to the UK. So Bank of England, they're going to be meeting today, and it's expected that they will cut interest rates again. So again, for most people, that is a good thing. It's currently at 5%. Hopefully they cut it down to, well, it's expected to drop down to 4.75%. And the decision will be announced about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's the expectation anyway. Don't need to talk too much about that. As they're looking to basically cut jobs, man, they're looking to cut 475 jobs. And they want to reduce the whole hybrid working as well, man. As part of their new business restructure and stuff. They said that this will likely affect less than 10% of people in the head office. So this is basically about people in head offices, by the way, in Leeds and Leicestershire. So basically it's going to affect only 10%, or less than 10% of them, and it's going to enable them to simplify certain structures, basically during this challenging time in the market. So that's their plan. On top of that, Sainsbury's as well are trying to reconfigure their strategy as well. And they said that they're looking to price match up to 200 different Aldi products in the smaller stores, you know, because you know sometimes you go to Tesco Express, go to the Sainsbury's. What's the equivalent of Sainsbury's one? What's the equivalent of Tesco Express, Brent?
Sainsbury's local.
That's the one. You know, when you go there, obviously their prices are typically more expensive than if you go to the bigger supermarket. Well, Sainsbury's is saying, look, we're matching Aldi stores in those smaller ones. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully things will be better competition, and that'll be better for the average person. Also, for those people out there who obviously care about cost of living crisis over designer, there was a study that was made that was done by the University of Leeds, and they basically worked alongside Primark to test all their items such as jeans, t-shirts, and all that sort of stuff to look at how good the quality is. And they found basically that a lot of the products, one in particular, a £15 pair of women's jeans, was much more durable than the equivalent £150 jeans that come from a designer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, which designer though?
You know what, let me get
because some of them be making their stuff in the same place anyway, and then just slapping on the name on there.
There you go.
That's not even surprising, to be fair.
There you go. Exactly.
Same supplier.
Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? If you guys care about that sort of stuff and not just the name brand, you can get some good quality, decent quality stuff from Primark and stuff. And the last thing I wanted to mention is Australia. The Australian government says they're looking to introduce a world-leading legislation to ban children under 16 from social media. I don't know if you guys feel that's a good thing or it's a bad thing. But they're basically saying
it's a great thing.
That's exactly what
never had it in the first place anyway.
At all. But yeah, they're looking to put that into Parliament next week. They're aiming at mitigating the harm that social media was inflicting on Australian children. Yeah, man, the Prime Minister said this one is for the mums and the dads. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. I want Australian families to know that the government has your back. So yeah, man, big up Australia for doing the right thing. And that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
Perfect. Well, let's get, is there reaction to react to?
Yeah, brief one.
Let's react then.
Okay.
All right, let's see what's happening in the world of sports. Some people played. It was Wednesday yesterday. It was the UEFA. It's mentioned UEFA, right?
Champions League, yeah.
Champions League, yeah. Okay, so Club Brugge, I think.
Yes.
Beat Aston Villa 1-0. Oh, who are these people? Shakhtar Donetsk beat BSC Young Boys Bern 2-1. Bayern Munich beat Benfica 1-0. Huh?
Accurate.
Thank you very much. Barcelona beats Crvena Zvezda.
That's the one.
5-2. Thank you very much. It's this kind of encouragement I need in life. Red Bull Salzburg beat Feyenoord 3-1. Inter Milan beat Arsenal 1-0. Atletico Madrid beat Paris Saint-Germain 2-1. Brest, that's a great name. Brest beat Sparta Prague 2-1. And Atalanta beat Stuttgart 2-0. And then we've got a headline. So men just watch football and then you just go and repeat the same thing. I mean, you're still sat there. You might as well read this. This is torture to me. I'm enjoying it. This is ridiculous. All right, well.
What's the next one?
Arsenal's won. I just said they beat someone beat them 1-0, but I guess it's a play-by-play. So Arsenal suffered a 1-0 defeat to Inter Milan in the Champions League with Hakan Calhanoglu scoring, great name, scoring the only goal from a first half penalty. The Gunners struggled to trouble the home side and were without Declan Rice due to injury, which was felt in their loss. Mikel Arteta's team failed to score for the second consecutive game and dropped to 12th in the Champions League table after 4 matches. Inter moved up to 5th place with 10 points from 4 games, maintaining their unbeaten start to the competition. And I'm taking the next one's about boxing.
Yeah, I can do the next one.
Yeah, there's a lot of acronyms in it. Silly.
Well, this is about Conor Benn. So remember we spoke before about Conor Benn getting banned. Well, long story short, his provisional suspension has been lifted after a 2-year battle with the UKAD, the UK Anti-Doping Organisation, and also the BBBofC, the British Boxing Board of Control. For those who don't know, Conor Benn, the son of the legendary Nigel Benn, is unbeaten, undefeated. He's a welterweight. He's got 23-0 record. But in 2022, this is prior to him meant to be fighting Eubank Jr. He was tested positive, for clomiphene, right, which is a women's fertility drug, in a voluntary drug test. His suspension's been withdrawn after UKAD said that the NADP, the National Anti-Doping Panel, was not comfortably satisfied that it and the board had proved that he had committed an anti-doping rule violation. Ben also has been saying, for the longest while, to be fair, that he's been cleared of wrongdoing and he's always been an advocate for a clean sport, all that sort of stuff. A lot of us don't believe him because it's pretty much rampant throughout boxing that people are kind of cheating, at least in the off-season between fights to help with their training and things of that nature. So many boxers have been caught with this, or sometimes get those silent bans. So you're just wondering, why haven't you heard anything from them? Because they got caught, basically. Anyway, Ben came out and said, this past 24 months has unquestionably been the toughest fight of my life. It has been a roller coaster period within which the WBC had already decided that I was innocent and the NADP decided in the first instance that there was no case to answer and I was free to fight. UKAD said that the charge against him has been consequently dismissed. However, they are reviewing the decision in accordance with its appeal rights. And they pretty much have 21 days to lodge that appeal. I just want to quickly remind people of basically the chain of events. So remember, like, a lot of people weren't really impressed with Conor Benn, but there was a time where, I don't know, just before the ban anyway, a few fights before that, this guy was dangerous. He knocked out Chris Algieri. He was doing a lot of stuff. Chris Algieri's never been knocked out before in his career. I'm not saying that Conor Benn can't be the first person, but But Algeria's been in there with Pacquiao. He's been in there with some serious guys. You know what I'm saying? Look at the fight with... Anyway, so in 25th of July 2022, Ajibet tests positive, like I mentioned, for clomiphene. September that same year, he tests positive again for the same substance. Then, in October, the news of these tests basically came out, and this was on the Wednesday of the fight. The Wednesday basically before the fight, he was meant to fight with Eubank. Then on the 6th of October, the Thursday, the fight got cancelled. And this is why people are saying, wait a minute, why is the fight not cancelled anyway? How come Eddie Hearn knew this beforehand? Eubank knew this beforehand. Why was the fight still going on if this guy's got drugs in his system? 27th of October, Conor Benn admits to basically failing 2 of these tests. He says he's innocent of doping, but he admits and concedes that yes, he failed 2 of these drug tests. The following year now, 23rd of February 2023, WBC reinstate him into the welterweight rankings after the investigation. The British Boxing Board of Control, they're not having it though, by the way. They're not allowing him to fight in the country. And so, UCAD as well, they provisionally suspend him. This is the 15th of March. And like I said, they're not having it, right? And this is why when Ben is fighting, he's having to fight outside of the country. And on the 23rd of September, he went to America and he fought Orozco and he won, but on points. Next fight in February, he fights against Peter Dobson. Wasn't the greatest performance, and he won again on points. So people are saying, now we're seeing the real Ben. It could be better competition, I don't know. But also basically saying, now that obviously there's restrictions, people are looking at him, and there's no drugs in his system, he's now a regular fighter. He's not knocking guys out anymore. He doesn't look exceptional anymore. He looks pretty much regular. So anyway, that's basically what the case is with Conor Benn. But I think a lot of people kind of saw this happening because we saw a lot of the commotion and the promotion going on after Eubank's last fight. So everyone's pretty much gearing up to think that maybe in Riyadh season, who knows, next year, early next year, where we'll get the fight between Ben and Eubank Jr. But we'll see what happens pretty much. But yeah, that's the update on that particular situation with Conor Benn. He is now, he's free, man. He's free. The suspension's been lifted. And that's pretty much it.
All right, let's wrap it up. Should you wrap it after you spent 10 minutes overtime? 1 minute won't kill you.
It's for the people.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? This is what we do for the people.
That's what you do for the people. I would have been out of here.
All right, people. We had an amazing show. Thank you to all the callers.
Pick up everyone.
You are always appreciated. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to single anybody out, but of course, Vaughn made a 1 every 6 months appearance. And we were happy to see the sire.
Someone said that Vaughn is Brent's kryptonite. And I just think that's a wild way to go. You can guess who said that. It was Chijioke.
Well, it must be true. All right. But guys, obviously we spoke about Kamala Harris and how she issued the defiant 2 words of keep fighting in her first speech, which she delayed to the next day. But that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We don't, criticize too much. And we also spoke about the Treasury denying that they broke the law over the black hole in the public finances debacle. We spoke about Angela Rayner basically saying the Labour government has committed to building more council houses, more homes for social tenants and whatnot. But the right to buy scheme is not going to apply to those. We cannot afford to basically let all of this stock go. Topic of the day, we spoke about why Kamala Harris lost and pretty much what's next for the world, man. We spoke about Benjamin Mendy being entitled to the majority of his unpaid wages at Man City. We spoke about all of the Guyanese citizens who may be happy to basically go home and receive their £370 payouts, equivalent to 100,000 Guyanese dollars. Maybe just put it, put it in the account or something, I don't know, just let it grow, who knows. Also, we spoke about Elon Musk's mum, who came out and basically was accused of racism over a tweet that she shared ahead of the presidential election. Of course, Esther spoke about Gayle King and how she responded to the backlash because of the interview with Megan Thee Stallion, Halle Bailey, obviously speaking about her being disappointed in DDG for taking their baby onto Kai Cenat's stream. We spoke about the new theatre that's going to be opening in Westfield in Shepherd's Bush next year, and the NHS nurse who wins the unfair dismissal claim after she was suspended for more than 2 years because of a patient who said that she was pregnant with his child. No proof, the guy was just talking. And
I can't believe he died.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we heard about the North Korean troops who've now seen what life is like with the internet. Now they've gone straight for the pornography and they're being entertained. And they dropped down their guns and picked up other things. And it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. We also spoke about... the last thing that we spoke about was Conor Benn and his provisional doping suspension being lifted. So yeah, man. Again, thank you for tuning in, guys. Same time here tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
See you in the morning.
Later.
Peace.
Bye.